Well, this nobody important died. Just a lot of office workers.
Roll.
That's got the same energy as when SpongeBob and Patrick saved the town from the butterfly.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, we did it, Patrick. We saved the town. And the town's just on
Oh,
fire and
fire,
everyone's panicking.
Ugh. I wish I could say that's inaccurate. Okay, that's fitting. There's a cutscene, and there are bodies everywhere. Oops.
I love the title.
I mean, I figured that's all you guys are gonna want to do anyways.
Illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
Well, that might be all that Zerth and Rosalin want to do.
I know you want to just build tons of traps.
If you make this house into like a Home Alone recreation, we're gonna have some words.
I'm literally being hunted.
I mean, yeah, anyone's interested in seeing something, maybe not house stuff for 5 hours. Sure, we'll figure it out. I know he wants to look for a, well, unless Zerth can do it efficiently, he wants to look for someone that can train him with the whip.
I did! You whipped me in the throat!
Well, that was one session. In D&D, it still wants you to go for freaking weeks and shit.
He would still train you. He'd just stand farther back.
Keeps the helmet on at all times when Inun has the whip out.
Curled into a scaled gator ball, protecting his neck.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Can't you just come over here and show me? No. I'm staying 100 feet away just in case.
Maybe.
And also still inside the house.
Maybe that's too mean.
He still gets hit somehow.
I mean, Inun can absolutely get some advanced training on Gaster. He's not gonna feel anything.
Except feel betrayed.
You could dodge a whip,
is
you
he?
could dodge a ball.
I mean, he'll feel that on the inside.
Oh, I don't know what he feels on the inside.
Not too
Maybe
much.
That's my problem. I don't think he's a false mockery of life. I don't think he has emotions. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
He has imitation emotions.
Alright, so he's like an LMD.
I was gonna say like a retail worker.
Like a fast food worker.
Hard. Stop it.
Like me, I'm a fucking rent-a-cop. Me and Zim are.
I speak from experience.
No, if you want to see fake emotion, you gotta see like a cafe worker or a fast food. Because like you gotta smile all the time. You gotta be friendly to every single one. Even
Yeah.
though you're saying the exact same lines to every person.
We at least don't
My
have
favorite
to
working
do
at
that.
7-Eleven was someone walking in and I go, "How you doing?" And they ignore me and I go, "I guess I'll just go fuck myself then."
Well, fuck me then.
Well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
I really
You would not believe
enjoy-
how many people call the bakery, ask for something, and then just hang up without
Saying my
hearing
thank
me,
you.
without like saying or like goodbye.
Oh,
Oh, that's the worst.
Hi, can I assist you with anything today? I want you to fucking kill yourself. Alright, well just let me know if you need any.
Hey, sorry, we
Let me know if
haven't
you
been
need
doing
anything
custom.
reasonable, okay?
You know what I
Sorry,
also
we haven't
learned
been
when-
doing custom cake orders for like 3 months, but you know, I'll start now.
You know what I also learned working at 7-Eleven?
What?
People do not like it when you tell them, "I don't know, I just work here," if you don't know the answer to something. Doesn't work out.
No,
We're allowed to be a little mean at work, thankfully. We've been dealing with a plague of skateboarders. And
Those
we
uh,
always are.
ruffians.
well, I think it's been even worse lately with all the skate parks closed.
I'd imagine.
But so my supervisor and I, we get a call about some. We approach from 2 different directions. The supervisor goes up and starts talking to them, and I'm going up behind these kids. And you know, I'm the 6'6", very big monstrosity of a guy. And my supervisor's like, "Now, you need to behave and be polite, or else my friend right there is going to fold you into a pretzel." And I am standing
Jared
there
told-
with an absolutely angry face. I swear they jumped like 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's funny. When I came in the other day, he wanted to tell me that story too, because he was laughing his ass off.
There's something in the custard, Black Baldric. I love that custard.
It's funny, that was the first time I've seen him since like the 2nd week of February, I think. And I've lost like 35 pounds since then. So he was like, "What the hell?"
We're gonna have to kick you out of the Choir of the Damned.
Oh no, I'm still there. I tell him that because my back still feels like it's on fire. And
Nope,
like the
we're
rest of my
kicking you
body,
out.
I just have much better pain tolerance.
Where is Rosalind?
Can't
been?
kick me out. I'm a founding member, asshole.
I think Saf's having a pretty rough time right now.
I'll be honest, I realized that she wasn't here when I saw that the character cards haven't been updated since we were level 7. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Alone, alone.
I want to be out of the future.
Hello there, darling.
Future. I'm gonna go back into the freezer. Just wake me up when this is over.
Everything's
Welcome to
from
the future.
I
Welcome to
am
the future.
Rozim, and this is Echoes of Eberron Dungeons and Dragons.
Champion returns. Welcome home.
Thank you for that fine timing of a resub. I will turn it now over to Discount Mickey, who is currently hiding in the freezer.
He's frozen solid. He can't talk yet.
Wait, so Zerth?
Yes.
Well, he wanted
Zerth.
discount Mickeys, and Zerth is in the freezer, so Zerth, give us your best Mickey.
But frozen solid. That's pretty good.
You gotta go longer, though.
Fine,
No,
let me
that's
try.
all the energy he had for, you know?
Oh,
Alright, let me
okay.
try.
Yeah, no, that's...
It's so cold!
It's gotta be more
It's not
muffled.
frozen solid. He's moving his
I don't
mouth.
know. I feel like that's scarily good. At least how they do it, they would do it in a cartoon.
Yeah, that is
Cartoon,
how they
yeah.
would do it in a cartoon. And, you know, you gotta
Or just
consider
shake
the
my-
fact.
I literally just grab my throat and start shaking it. Oh!
Sounds painful.
Not really. Have
You settle down, bud.
you never done that?
I've done it
Mr.
before.
Solid.
Correct.
I like going up in tone and just striking your throat, like.
Could hear that.
Ow. It hurts my throat. I didn't try to do it, but I'm just listening to it. It hurts my throat.
I just watched episode 1. I wonder if I can make pod racer noises that way. Ooh.
That's pod. Holy shit.
Now that's pod
That's
raising.
good.
Ow, that actually... Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
you
kind
go.
of figured.
Yeah, you feel it for a second.
It was right on the Adam's apple, yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah?
go ahead,
Yeah.
Dova.
So, last time, after spending a little time in town buying quite a few magic items, you ended up buying something a little bit bigger. You bought a house, a villa to be exact, on the outskirts of the town that you're currently kind of nearby. But after doing a little bit of a tour, finding out the house was haunted, and buying it for a substantially lower price, you guys are currently doing a little bit of renovation, a little bit of homekeeping, and kind of figuring out exactly what you've got on your hands here. You've discovered that there's a teleportation circle in the woods nearby, about a half-hour walk away. The basement is in fact haunted, possibly the whole villa as well, by a poltergeist of unknown name and disposition. And yeah, you guys are just kind of hanging out, setting up defenses and traps for those of you who are a little bit more concerned about who might be coming after you, and making this place a little bit more homely. The central heating and the indoor plumbing are not currently working, as that is down in the basement. And up until now, kind of felt like that's the poltergeist domain. Even though you aren't really bothered that much when you go down there, it just sort of feels very unwelcome to be down there.
The Sentinel is definitely going all out with the Home Alone stuff on this house.
All right, give me a survival check.
I mean, we probably have a spooky, like, fire stove in the basement.
It's a full on like cobweb covered furnace, like a boiler down in the basement. So you guys do the best that you can within one day of kind of setting up traps. You've got a few noisemakers set up in strategic positions and kind of set out of the way because it really was a little bit extremely ugly to have them kind of out in the open like that. But you've managed to kind of tuck them away in just the right manner that anyone who manages to get in without being very, very careful should make quite a bit of noise and most likely wake at least somebody up. If they aren't awake already during a watch, perhaps. And Inu, I assume you're helping with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that you managed to get some like noisemakers and stuff set up, along with any sort of magical cast traps that you do, like a cordon of arrows.
I'll take some of the rat skeletons, make bone chimes.
All right.
Those are loud.
And I suppose there would be a decent amount of rat skeletons in the basement.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 on me for some reason.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah.
What was I gonna say? I completely forgot. Oh,
I wanna.
if you want to, we can switch over to the mana points system.
Like completely?
Yeah.
I think I would be down with that because I have a lot of level 1 slots that I don't use.
I am still vague on how to use that, so I guess I'll learn as we go.
It's essentially, instead of having spell slots per level, you just have a grand total, and each spell level costs a certain number.
Mm-hmm. It's
is what
the
I'm
actual
understanding.
rules. Yeah, the actual rules for it are in the DMG. I'll get a good screenshot of the whole section up here in a sec.
What's the page? I got it in front of me. I know it's towards the back.
Now, when casting the spells, let's say I have first levels count as 1 point. I have 10 points. Does the normal you can only cast 1 spell per turn kind of apply?
No, except for high level spells. I think above 6 you can only cast 1 per day. You can pretty much use the spell points however you want. I'm getting the.
All right, Dova, hear me out. I just opened the DMG to 207. I'm looking at the Talisman of Ultimate Evil. What are your thoughts?
No. I don't remember exactly what it does, but I'm just gonna say no.
You never gave me the page. Where are the numbers?
I'm looking. I forgot where it is.
Sample poisons.
There we go.
They spelled worm wrong.
Settle down, okay?
It's supposed to be with a Y, not an O.
I bet you spell color with a U.
Oh man, and neighborhood. Alien technology. I need to actually look through this book.
There's some good stuff in it.
Oh, I see. So we're level 9, so we would have 57 spell points. And the max level we can cast is 5th level.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Oh yeah? Let me see.
5th level spells count as 7 points. I gotta get my old gator eyes adjusted to this.
What page are is the mana pool on?
It's 289.
Page,
I found it.
Yeah, 288, 289. I put screenshots for both of the sections in the Discord.
Oh, I'm getting confused listening to Zerth. Yeah, because I have 57 spell points. Oh wait, no, this is by. Oh, that's just by level. Okay, not by class. How does it work with like half-casters then?
Half-casters, I believe.
Oh wait, no, he's a cleric. My bad.
Yeah, clerics are
I was
full
thinking
casters.
paladin. Alright, because I see a giant holy person, so.
So you just have the
Usually
half the
paladin.
character level, so it would be level. If you're a half caster, you'd be at level I think it's 4, because you round down in 5th edition.
Okay, but alright, I was just making sure because it looked like some things got locked out, so it's not like there's ever gonna be a level where I can't cast spells I have because of the max spell level. Okay. Alright, I'm all good. I'm gonna need a calculator to keep track of this.
But yeah, above or at 6th level and above, you can cast 1 per day.
Only?
Yeah. Or you can cast a level 6 and a level 7, but you can't cast 2 level 7s in one day, basically.
This is not the right book for that.
So this means we have access to higher level spell slots. Or spells we can learn compared to normal class leveling.
It's mostly that you don't get locked out because you used a certain spell level slot. It's you can no longer get locked out. It's like, okay, I only have one 5th level. Well, it's like if I had 3 4th level spots. I think with this system, I can probably cast like 5. It's just essentially, you're not this. I'm not its 9th level wizard when I'm like, I only have Firebolt open, or not that. Like I can only cast Alarm because I have a 1st level spell. I mean, that'll probably still happen. I'll end up with, if I use everything, I'll just have crap left over, but I think it's so you can...
It's potential for greater success, but also potential for even more spectacular failure. Because of, instead of just having, like, 2nd level spell slots left, you'll have absolutely no spell slots left, of any kind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, using the teleporter in its current state is 20 spell slots per person.
You mean the spell circle?
Yeah, the teleportation circle.
Okay. So 20 per person. That's... Or you mean points, not slots?
Yeah, 20 points per person.
Okay, Jesus Christ, Dova.
Okay. Well, actually, what I'm trying to do is make some comparisons. So... Let's see, when does it go to, you can only use one? You can only use one spell of the max spell level?
6, 7, 8, and 9. You can only use 1 per long rest. Which I believe is how it normally is anyways.
Yeah, I'm just seeing, I just want to make sure because at 10th level, the max spell level is still only 5, but with the normal class, I have 2 5th level spell slots. That seems like I'm losing one this way.
I don't think so. You guys are level 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have just gained your 5th level spells.
I just did. I mean, at level 10, do I still... Can I only cast one 5th level spell?
No, it's
per day?
6, 7, 8th, and 9th. 6 and above, not 5 and above.
So we're good.
Yeah.
So we don't have that limit.
That restriction does not touch you yet.
Oh. Oh, I think that's... Yeah, that should be fine, because I don't get a second 6th spell lot until level 19.
Level 19, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
you're good.
Yeah, this is fine.
By that time, a second spell slot is not going to matter much.
Yeah.
And we've also got an extra field in the treasure on our inventory that we can use to track the spell points.
Oh yeah, I guess that's... Yeah, that 6th currency. You can throw spell points in there.
What? There goes my savings.
Sinel's gonna spend more time building traps.
Okay. The second day, basically.
Yeah.
By this point, some of the furniture would be start to be moved in, as well as you now have the deed. So you've got legal ownership now. But for a fairly low price of 400 Galifars, the house is starting to look like an actual house with furniture inside. It's still rather cold, as it is still winter. So basically January 3rd. But it's a fairly temperate region, so it's not that cold.
I'm probably going to start working on trying to get in the heat and stuff working.
Okay.
I will go with him because that probably means going into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped having fun setting up traps after I used all my bones. I was like, oh, I guess I'm done.
Looking at it like a giant pile of like timber and sticks that that Blue was out, cutting down trees and splitting logs. And you shake your head. It's not the right thing to do. I need bones. It's
I
my
also,
life.
Dealt with the vinegar.
Well, if you need if you need some bones, I do have that mouse skeleton.
Well, these aren't. I don't really want these. I don't know how I ended up with those other ones, but I did, so I'll just accept that.
I just thought I'd offer.
Humanoid's what I need. Well, thank you. But yes, humanoid is helpful.
It's sitting in a Ziploc bag, waiting for me to take out to the trash.
I suppose I should probably give you guys a long rest at some point here.
Oh,
probably.
But the first night goes by without any sort of disturbance. It's actually nice, kind of being in a single place, not moving around while you're kind of trying to snooze in the back of a caravan or something like that. You found a fairly nice place for the record player, or the crystal record player.
Yeah, and I remember I set up my tent outside last time. I'm gonna bring it in.
All right. It's feeling a lot less kind of profane to you at this point.
Yeah, the record player is set just above the staircase to the basement because he wants to move in there, but he needs to explore first.
He needs to get permission.
He's kind of tired of this bullshit with the poltergeist because he's not gonna hurt it, but he's still gonna go in the basement. Like he doesn't care if he claimed that. We bought the house. So yeah, he has most of his stuff is just at the top of the staircase because he's trying to appease the rest of the party who wants to be nice to the poltergeist.
And it's about that time you go down there with Zerth, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Alright. So, heading down there, the basement is as kind of creepy and stuffy as it always is. In some spots, you can see light from above, kind of peeking down through the through an uneven board here or there. But it's just kind of cracks of light, not actual like spotlights leading in. But heading kind of towards the center of the kind of ring-shaped basement, there's a large kind of arcane boiler / furnace thing. A lot of various tubes and kind of magical apparatus and runes kind of inscribed all over. In noon, you'd have a pretty good idea of what this is meant to do. You're not quite sure how it does it, but you know that it's probably built to heat the water, heat the air. These are regular arcane runes. These aren't your runes.
Yeah, I assume so. Are they conjuration runes?
Give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Because you can figure out
there's probably some kind of fire magic heating up the water.
You can figure out it's definitely conjuration based, but this is just to see how far above that you go.
Yeah. Oh, those knights are nice.
For the record, I'm still setting more and more traps. It's starting to spread outside now.
All right.
And some of these are going to be designed to be as deadly as possible.
All the arrows and like something that like slips a person as they fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
Punji sticks.
All right.
I swear, if I get shot in the butt by one of your traps,
So,
I'm being hunted.
investigating the furnace a little bit longer, you'll notice that it seems to work by, you think, probably harnessing a minor fire elemental and just kind of keeping it held in a sort of prison.
Oh, okay.
It seems that this is an elemental sort of artifact sort of thing, which in this setting isn't too uncommon.
Ray, you're randomly echoing.
Sorry. Let me check something.
You'll also see that kind of where there's a few dials and knobs and levers. There is a large slot which seems to require a crystal of some sort that's currently empty. There's a few shards of a kind of a smoky quartz crystal inside.
Is that safe to assume that's where the fire elemental would go?
Basically, a small kind of kyber dragon shard bound to or with a fire elemental bound inside it. Those are a little bit pricey.
Okay, so it needs kyber crystals?
Yeah, it needs a kyber crystal with a fire elemental bound inside.
Oh, okay. Because the noon was at first was thinking about using some of those crystals that came from those necro plants or whatever that kept raising the dead with the smoky crystals.
As far as you're aware, those are. As far as you were aware, those were not
those
actually.
Are mundane.
Yeah, those are just regular like quartz, not
No,
not the.
He was just physically looking at the description of a crystal, so that came to mind. But
Gotcha.
now he knows you need something different. And I'm remembering someone picked up a kyber crystal. I feel like the party has one. All right, so
I think somebody does. I don't remember who it is.
He's gonna put his paw over his face as he's thinking, as I'm doing now. And he's gonna go look for it.
It always seems to be the hidden stuff that is expensive for houses.
You're gonna go look for it, Innan?
I'm gonna start asking people because
Okay.
I know at least one of us has it. So eventually he's gonna end up at Sinnoh.
Alright. I'm guessing you just like head right upstairs.
Yeah.
Zerth, do you stay down there alone?
Trying to step over all the traps.
I think you're alone.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Fuck.
Oh.
All right, 0. 18.
All right. You do not
down there.
You're in a little bit of a hurry, but you don't trip any of them. It's getting a bit ridiculous at this point. There's like buckets above some of the doorways, just full of like not water, but like shards of glass. Fun stuff like that.
Anun's gonna point up at the bucket and go, Sinnoh, you have to tie a rope to it because once they open the door, just the bucket will hit him in the head. It has to pour the glass out. You need the rope.
Oh, right. Yes. He's gonna rush off to work on that.
All right.
Also, I'm looking for a smoky crystal.
He's already gone now.
I mean, he's walking behind you. You just said you're fixing the thing he pointed out, right?
Well, yeah, but he's got to go get the supplies.
All right. Well, Noon will stand there then.
All right. After a minute or two, he comes back.
All right. I need a smoky crystal, kind of like quartz that we've maybe found in the Eberron Conclave, and not the zombie stuff. Someone had it, and I'm trying to remember who. Was it you?
A smoky crystal, not what zombie stuff?
Was there the thing that brought like the chimera and how to forget that's name?
Manticore.
Oh,
that
that
growing out of
crystal.
those
I
in the
didn't
Eberron
grab any
Conclave?
of that.
Oh yeah, well I don't need those, so that's great. Was there a spent crystal in the furnace?
Yeah, there's like a few little shards of it.
All right, I'll bring out the handfuls left and kind of jiggle them around in his hand so we can show Sinel.
Oh, you mean like this? He'll pull out the one he found.
Yes, it has a fire elemental in it. We need it for the furnace.
It does?
That's what I've learned from the machine I'm working on.
Sinel's looking into the crystal, trying to see whatever he can see.
I can't tell you
there.
the details. I'm sure Yart can, but it'll sure work. I have to hit it a few times.
If you want to do an insight check, you can. You don't have to.
Yes. Because he's rather in paranoid mode, so...
That's fair enough.
Alright, well, you learned that crystal has a fire elemental in it, and Anu needs it for the furnace.
He'll shrug and give it to Sinel before... to Anun before going off to build more traps.
And then Sinel gives himself a self 5 and walks out.
Alright, I'll be right back real quick. I gotta reset my router, so I'm gonna switch over to talking on my phone.
Alright.
Oh, fun. Alright, I'll take the crystal back.
Alright.
Gonna step around the traps.
Also, for the record, we do have influence.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
+2 guidances from Manir.
Alright. Welcome as always.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
Alright. I may get disconnected from Fantasy Grounds.
Gotcha.
Okay. Probably.
No internet will do that to you.
Yeah. So yeah, Zerth's by himself in the basement.
Okay. So while Inun is kind of upstairs grabbing the crystal, that kind of sensation as though you're being watched kind of grows in intensity around you. And you kind of gain the feeling in the back of your head that were you to turn around fast enough, you might see something, but every time you kind of look to the side, there's nothing but kind of strange looking shadows that your imagination seems to be playing up at the moment.
All right, Dova, I need your assistance real quick.
Yeah?
What is the layout of this house? I thought I was in the basement messing with the furnace, and I went to the main floor. Or I thought, I don't know, I was envisioning Sinel setting up traps on the staircase to the basement.
Pretty much. It's I mean, it's a decent amount of distance from, because it's kind of in a circular shape, you know.
Let me ask you a question
how many
real
floors?
quick. Is there any way into the basement aside from the stairs down into it?
There's 2 staircases down into it, basically.
I mean, we haven't explored it, so we
would
don't
they
know if
have
there's
to
any
be in
tunnels going out.
Would they have to be in the house already to get into the basement, or is it accessible?
As far as you're aware, it's you can only get into it through as you're already in the main house.
Then Sinel wouldn't have bothered to trap the basement, at least not yet.
I figured that would have been a different room, anyways.
Okay, I was just thinking of a staircase, anyways, because that's a movement. But like I said, I'm trying to see this without seeing anything.
Rob.
Okay.
It's
dice red.
Go ahead, Zerth.
Yeah, Zerth is going to continue just kind of praising the basement and just goes, if we're going to live together, this oppressive presence kind of has to stop. Just make yourself known. We live here together.
Not to you.
Zerth, where are you at? In the house right
There's
now?
kind of a small, a tiny whisper that whenever you kind of look in the direction where it's coming from, it almost shifts behind you. And kind of comes out from almost like behind some of the pillars, the support pillars, and as it kind of continues, saying, You in particular.
And why is that? What have I done?
Reminds me of someone who I hate.
Just to clarify, did you say hate or ate?
Hate with an H. Sorry.
It sounded like you said he ate him, and I'm like, oh.
Your goddess in particular.
Now he's intrigued. He's gonna raise a scaly eyebrow and just goes, "So you have dealt with others of the Fury, then?"
Not the Fury. Someone of a different name.
Well, I would be excited to hear about this. The one that has done you wrong. I am not that person. I worship the Fury, and not in a normal sense.
Give me a persuasion check.
I can't.
Oh, right. I forgot. You're not really actually in the game. All right, give me a sec. Open up the map the previous battle map that you were on. I don't know how that happened. All right, persuasion.
If we be adventurers, let us
That'd be a 21.
Oh, nice.
More influence.
Including it, so the one that Jaffer sent as well as another one?
No, just the one from Jaffer.
Okay. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Persuasion checking the spooky ghosts that I'm different.
Oh yeah. The voice kind of pauses for a moment as you hear the Inun kind of clomping back down the stairs around the corner. The stairs kind of creaking under his weight. The voice just very simply says, "She is not who you think she is. A different name, but..." And then just kind of disappears.
He's, I assume, like, as soon as Inun crosses the stairs.
Pretty much, yeah. But almost to maybe punctuate the end of the conversation, your tail gets pulled on fairly harshly, kind of pulling you back a few steps.
I will allow it.
Behind a pillar. Now that your sort of gaze is behind a pillar, the voice very quietly kind of whispers into your ear. It sounds as if it's right there. You can almost feel the presence of the voice just right next to your face. As it says, lost my train of thought again.
I got pulled behind the pillar.
Yeah,
I allowed it.
Sorry, I've got a lot of caffeine in my system, and it just kind of takes control at points, you know?
And no direction to aim it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. It kind of it whispers almost directly in your ear. Just the following kind of rhetorical question. Does one ever wonder why no gods speak to their clerics aside from yours?
That's gonna stop him because Zerth always thought it was common that clerics could talk to his gods, and it never really dawned on him until that question was asked. It's like one of those like, oh yeah, that is like when you walk into a room and it's like, oh, the room is black, but everybody's like, hey, when do you remember this room was being black? It's like, oh, I never really thought about that.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, the presence actually disappears. There's still a feeling of being watched out from the distance, but not nearly from so close.
He would mutter under his voice, just as quiet as he can. I would like to talk about this later in private. As he would just kind of move back behind the pillar and just kind of wave his tail to Inu like nothing happened. He'd be like, you know, we could have a lot of caskets down here.
Why do we need caskets?
Like wine caskets.
I mean casks?
Is that the word? I always call them caskets because they're easy to hide bodies in.
Casks are, yeah, the barrels.
Yeah.
He's always called them caskets because that's what he's been using them for.
By the way, Zerth, you would also realize that you've never... I don't believe you've ever actually told anyone about you speaking directly to the Fury.
Oh, no.
Mm.
He's kept that. And he's been on... Like, he will talk. And it'll be like a constant thing. But it's just never, like I said, it's just never dawned on him, and he never tells anybody about that. Not even to, like, other clerics.
Mm-hmm.
So
what was Zerth asking about the caskets?
He was just saying, we can have a lot of caskets down here.
Yeah, these, unfortunately, most of these are vinegar now. Wine has been down here for a very long time when I was looking around earlier. But there is still one good barrel, and he's gonna pat the top of it.
Pickled train snacks.
It's about 3/4 full.
Alright, I'll be right back. My internet came back up.
All right. Hello?
I have returned.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
Did you find the crystal?
Yeah, it's right here. Sin'll had it. And he'll start walking towards the furnace. Probably drop down on his knees and start messing with the pipes again, trying to get the crystal in place.
Okay. It would definitely require some sort of resizing and cutting to manage it to fit it in.
Okay.
But it seems to be about the right size, and I don't believe you are actually sure as to what kind of fire elemental's inside it, or what kind of elemental at all.
Oh, that's true. Alright, so it doesn't fit yet, and I need to not let my character be OP and just say, oh, I can cut this crystal. So, let me just, he's going to step away, tell Zerth that we're going to need someone to resize it, and then he's going to cast Identify on it.
Alright.
Ritual.
So, down in the basement, your magic in particular, Inun, seems a little bit shaky. It's kind of like a car's engine with an engine, with the cylinder misfiring.
Okay.
It still goes, but God Almighty if it doesn't feel a little bit off.
Okay, so like, is it having chaotic effects that I'm not foreseeing?
Not really. It's just kind of wandering, and you find yourself having to put a little bit more work in places where it just kind of happens smoothly.
Okay, so
it feels like you're no longer a master of this spell down here, but kind of a novice.
Yeah,
but
I'm not...
you manage to make it work.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm thinking of a different car situation that matches. Sorry, it's my stupid head. I'm like, well, that's not what a throne rot sounds like.
You spin the ritual top, and it just keeps going, and it keeps going, and it doesn't stop, and you're like, oh god damn it.
It's like the magic's at full rich. I'm getting no air, so it's just being very, very inefficient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you managed to finish casting the spell and kind of focusing it on the crystal itself. You learn that it is in fact a Kyber dragon shard, and I'm going to need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh, fun. Okay. $207.
If this is a frost elemental,
That'd be unfortunate.
My face is in my face is in my hands right now because as far as you can tell, that is in fact a fire elemental. It's a rather small one, but more than enough for this situation.
Please tell me fire elemental starts at like 25.
Yeah.
You
you barely got it.
All right.
funny.
Oh, Zerth, this is a fire elemental. This works out perfectly. What are the odds?
It's very convenient.
Oh man, we're so lucky.
Wait, side question. Would this heat up my pond? Make it warm?
There's a few levers for diverting heat to different places of the house. Fortunately, that means you will have to trek down here to adjust the settings once it is running.
I get a heated pond. Best house ever.
Hey Zerth, you should come to town with me so we can see about getting this crystal recut.
Yes. That sounds good.
Alright, Dova, now the shape, is it like a general like stone cutting, or is it there's specific points for this device that I can maybe take notes on?
There's the shape of the device in specific is important, you would know. But it's more of an artifice thing, so not really your exact specialty.
Okay. Alright, so he's gonna try. He's most likely, we need to have just Yark look at this, so I guess we can go look for Yark. But if not, I was thinking about going to town and finding someone. Maybe we can bring him back here to fix it, but I don't think they want to deal with the ghost.
Yeah, that'll probably add a little bit of pay to the.
I don't think the ghost wants to deal with them.
But Anun wants to talk to Zerth about that, but once they're out of the house, that's why he invited him to town. So they'll take off.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you would as you're heading up, you'd see that Yark's currently in the kitchen, sharpening the handful of various kitchen knives and cleavers and various paring knives and stuff like that.
In the same way, one would like wash clothes on a washboard because they're so small.
Mm-hmm. You're putting your whole body weight into, especially the cleaver. That was a real fun one.
So
it's a tough job, man.
Am I seeing double? I was just talking to him in the basement about the barrels of wine. Why is he upstairs?
Who, me?
Are we
Did I say Zerth?
Oh, you're saying yeah.
I said Yark. Oh, sorry about that. No, Yark.
I'm fast.
What the hell?
There's a carbon monoxide leak somewhere in the basement.
Dova,
What do you mean I was down there? I was up here the whole time.
Zerth was the poltergeist all along.
Zerth has been dead for 20 years. What's going on?
Inun, you have to let us go. The accident was years ago.
He's just alone in the house. He wakes up in Sharn.
He never left the train.
I'm
wakes
still
up in the
hammered on the first train, yeah.
Wakes up in the morning.
I'm in first class and I wake up in the jail on the train. That's where I imagine the story of friends getting locked in jail, but it was me.
He just wandered drunkenly into the Mournlands and playing out this adventure.
I don't want to be stuck there.
I don't think There wants to be stuck there.
Damn it. We're getting back on this thing.
Let's get back on track. How about?
It's where you have to live a full life, and when you die, you go back to your life, and was like, huh, that was only 90 years.
You got the high score.
I hate it. So
what was the name of the game? In Rick and Morty?
Dave or something?
It wasn't Dave.
It was just his
name. What was his name?
Phil?
No.
I think it was Life of Dave.
I think it began with an R.
Dave.
And it wasn't Life of, it was just the name.
The name, yeah.
Roy.
Yes, that's what it was. Oh, you just got the high score in Roy. Okay, so
I hate
you go up to the kitchen and you see Yark there sharpening his knives. He's super excited to see you. He's like, "Hey guys, look what I just installed." And he goes over and there's you see a little what looks to be a really shallow sink on the kitchen counter. And he turns it on and it just wets his feet. And it says, "Now I can get on the counter without getting everything messy."
What?
Well, I can't exactly reach the counter from the floor, and I want my feet all over the counter.
How did you get up on the counter?
I think something cut out because I heard water shoots onto the floor, and then you ended up on the counter.
Oh, no. He's been on the counter the whole time.
Okay.
And he says, "Look, there's a sink on the counter here that he installed. It's basically just a foot bath. Because you can't walk on the counter with dirty feet. That's kind of gross. Probably get some sort of health stuff."
You'd probably just anyone in the party would notice this about Inun is he's just kind of looking for stuff to fix. He's not even trying to settle in because he's never had that. He stayed in like taverns, but he's originally from the freaking forest. I don't think he's had a tent. So he's just fixing the house. He's not trying to settle up in a room. All right. Well, we need your help with the furnace downstairs. We have this fire elemental and a crystal, and we just need to reform it to fit the receptacle.
Oh, okay. And he's gonna jump from the counter onto their shoulder. Wait, is Zerth here?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, Zerth.
Okay, just check.
Should be with me.
Wouldn't that be up then?
Yes.
Jacker, I did send your influence to Dova.
Yep, I got both of them.
But we're pretending that I'm always casting jump with the ring of jumping.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Now I jump very far.
As much like a locust or a jumping spider, Yark is able to scale the distance almost instantly. What?
Geckos are good jumpers too. That's a lot more like what I...
That's true. Or perhaps like a kangaroo.
I was gonna... maybe a frog.
There you go.
Jumps like a frog, lands like a gecko.
Like a spider monkey.
I'm all hopped up on Dream Lily.
Oh my god! I just realized. Okay. Dova.
Yeah?
Can I scale walls by making my hands all slimy and sticky? At least for flavor.
Yes, I'd say in a very limited and kind of messy, slow, and also noisy fashion.
Yes, in that case, I have become a gecko.
Jeez.
I can jump onto the wall and climb it.
Have you ever had to deal with that with geckos or just lizards climbing the walls?
God. It's so annoying.
I spent a few weeks in Thailand and we just had these giant ones that would just fall from the ceiling out of nowhere. They would just spontaneously like blink into reality.
That sounds like a fun place.
Yeah, it was Cobalt last campaign. It just blinked into existence and ran away.
Gets slapped by
A
something in the
lizard.
middle of the night as it runs away.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie.
You're just left
One of
wondering,
the cool.
what the fuck?
I feel like one of the coolest things I've ever done in any campaign was when I saved Sully from the Mind Flayer. Because with the Conjuration Wizard trick thing, you could switch places with someone, and like
I remember that.
a turn before he was about to be eaten, I switched places with him and I Misty stepped away because it doesn't count as a spell.
Oh, I was thinking about a different time. That's funny. You said Mind Flayer, and so I started thinking of a lair, but I thought of the Beholder Underground, where you pissed and dove a cereal when you just conjured the key without picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was like 8 suits of armor and then a key on the other side. It's like
I was like,
another one.
I was like, Dova, are the suits magical? And it's like, yes. Is the key magical? And he says no. And I'm like, okay, I conjure a key. That was 100% what I wanted that ability for in the first place.
Alright, so we all go to the basement.
Alright.
And I'm gonna bring Yark over to the machine. I'm gonna pick him up off Zerth and just set him down next to the receptacle for the crystal.
Alright.
So needs... Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna tell Yark that the crystal needs to be cut.
Alright, cool. Give me a moment while I peruse my extensive list of tool proficiency.
Okay. I'd say that since this is specifically an artificer sort of thing, I'd say you would have proficiency in whichever tool set you would choose to trim the gem with.
Well, I have wood carvers and I have smith's tools, which could probably combine to do something similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a gem cutter tool. I don't actually know.
Yeah, there is an actual gem cutting set.
Well,
if you wanted to go procure one, that would definitely help.
No need, Dova. You want to know what the new artificer class can?
They can make a tool set, I'm guessing?
Yes, for an hour.
All right.
I'm going to do that.
All right. As you...
Probably just scraps of wood and scraps of metal is all I really need.
Mm-hmm. Basically, piecing together a tool set for this function out of both kind of magical force, power of will, and just whatever stuff is like at the bottom of your bag, just kind of jingling away in a pile of random crap. Go ahead and give me an actual tool check. This is for the physical trimming of it.
Just do I pick any tool?
Yeah, you'll have proficiency in it, so
I guess wood. I'll just do wood carver.
yeah. Whichever you can manage to get work with the with Fantasy Grounds well. All right.
A 13 with a 2.
Now either you or somebody around you give me an Arcana check to keep the elemental constrained within the gem.
Inun, what's your Arcana?
Because it constantly wants to break out.
What is it?
+9.
All right, I'll give you advantage then.
All right. Yeah.
Since we're both proficient in Arcana.
And he's gonna feel that gem kind of cracking and energy coming out of it, and his reaction is gonna be like, "Oh, geez."
Oh God! Oh geez!
Oh boy. Do you have counterspell prepared?
Yes.
Okay. I'd say you probably use basically that to basically snip off a little bit of the elemental, as it was basically in the process of escaping. But the both of you are able to very rapidly kind of get it back in the gem as the crack that had formed in it due to a misjudged cut just kind of seals back up with a very kind of small cracking sound. But with 13 to actually carve it.
Here's the thing, though, is I guess a fantasy element you could think about is what is the hardness of this quartz? Because sometimes you can just hit it with a rock on kind of the crystalline areas, and you can chip parts of it away, like nap it. If the consistency's around flint, or I don't really know what quartz is. I know you can't do it with diamond.
Quartz is I know it's made of silicon. I know. I think is it a form of carbon?
Quartz is a very like
I think it's generic,
rough,
right?
It's a very rough and solid gemstone. Like it's very coarse. They use quartz for
one
like
part silicon, 3 parts oxygen.
They mix it
silicon,
with
okay.
They mix quartz dust with water, and like they use it to mine.
Oh. So with the 13, it is able to fit. Some of the faces are a little bit kind of off, just by a little bit. Kind of like a desk that doesn't quite sit right. It kind of wobbles a little bit. So once you kind of clasp it in place with the large kind of clamping like lid, you think it ought to work.
Not bad for my first time cutting a gemstone.
All right, quartz is 7 out of 10 on a mineral hardness scale.
Okay, so yeah, it is very tough.
All right, but you said it fits now?
Yeah.
I guess I will try finding. Why isn't Noon doing this? Yark, are you familiar with machines like this? Is there a lever that we need to fire it up?
Well, yes, and I am very familiar, and I will tell you exactly what to do right now.
All right, you do so. You can make stuff up, and I will allow it. This is your wheelhouse, Yark.
All right, cool. So what you do is you find a piece of wood, and he grabs just like a random piece of wood sitting on the floor, and you toss it in the furnace, and the fire elemental eats it and warms up.
And then?
All right.
It doesn't really need he doesn't really need a lot of fuel. If you ever want to douse him, just throw in like something cold.
All right, so Noon will try to see at least if there's any like scraps of wood down here from the last person using it. Because he's not trying to just heat the house; he's just trying to turn it on.
Yeah, there's a bit of there's kind of a small wood pile, as well as a few barrels, which seems to be full of either coal or charcoal. You're not enough of a mineral expert to tell which is which.
It's just carbon to him.
Yeah,
Fire
stuff.
Yeah. That was some of Anun's earliest spell casting, was lighting coal on fire and throwing it. All right, so he'll chuck it in the furnace.
All right, so as you close like the feeding port, there's a small, very high-pitched sort of whine for a brief moment, as the fire elemental is actually sort of released into the sealed, reinforced heating chamber in the middle. So I apologize if I get this wrong, because I am not familiar with the source material. But All right, all right, all right, all right. There's a howl as it kind of rushes out of the little crystal and into its sort of pseudo freedom, rapidly, and you can see through kind of a mesh or a kind of reinforced bar viewing port. You can see a kind of amorphous, fairly kind of a dim orange glow as what you can only describe as a little bit emaciated fire elemental rushes out and rapidly starts to consume the scrap wood which you've thrown in.
All right. I will make sure the feed port's closed.
There about a few seconds later, there's kind of a little gasp from inside as he finally breathes. But he coughs and sputters, kind of screaming out to nobody in particular, just saying, "You will pay for imprisoning me further, for I am Calcifier. I will escape and burn this place to the ground."
Hey, Dova.
Yeah?
I'm going to toss in a piece and then close it back up again.
Ooh!
Piece of what?
Coal.
Oh.
Zerth just goes. Oh, great.
Man.
We have
This will suffice for now.
Oh, I just saw that exact scene as a cartoon in my head. Oh my gosh. That was the best. It's just because I imagine it's like a foot tall elemental stuck in this thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
"You will pay for your arrogance," and you just throw him a piece of candy. It's woo.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
He swirls around it for a second before gnawing.
Mm-hmm.
I am Cinder, destroyer of worlds. Ooh, piece of wood.
You cannot contain fire. Fire spreads. Fire destroys.
Fire. Is that oak?
Ooh, is that cherry?
Oh no, that's hickory.
Wood
Ooh,
chips.
mahogany.
Oh, decadent.
And Zerth's just gonna say, he sounds adorable. He will fit in quite nice here.
All right, Yark. Well, I guess we'll leave you to cook him some nice smoked wood chips, some carbon cakes.
Oh yeah, that'll be easy. If I cook some cherrywood smoked bacon, you can have the I don't even look. I'm not a very good. I don't know about smoking or grilling, so we can just
fine.
have whatever's left over.
Yark, the way that the hearth or the furnace is designed is that if something goes wrong and it starts to escape, there's a bunch of runes that should kind of activate and make it go back in the crystal. Should is the operative word here.
Yeah, well, we don't need to tell him about that. I think it'll be fine.
Sorry, what was that? I missed that.
If stuff
If it
goes
didn't
wrong,
happen-
there's a lot of runes that should make it kind of go back into the crystal.
Okay.
It's like a fail-safe kind of thing.
All right.
Like a safety release valve, except
Yeah.
Oh,
Goes
that
back
is
in.
a Howl's Moving Castle reference.
Yes, it is.
mhm.
Zerth's just gonna look to Yark and Inun and just whisper, say, "Are fire elementals supposed to be that thin?"
Nah, he's probably a little hungry. I'll give him a good meal at some point.
If he's gonna be living in this house, he's gonna be well fed.
Yeah, well, we got Yark
Especially,
for that, so that works out.
especially if he's heating your bathtub.
Oh, if he's heating my pond, he deserves all the respect.
All right. So, what do you guys do now?
day is it?
About this point, I'd say it would be about afternoon.
So
finish-
just go to his pond.
All right.
Yeah, finish with the furnace. Anoon's gonna leave the basement because it's kind of choking and annoying.
Mhm.
Important question: how trapped is this house now?
Extremely. It is hard to turn a corner without seeing some sort of evidence of a tripwire or no pressure
My
plates,
hamster
though.
is getting antsy.
That's a bit
If we
outside
adventurers,
a sort of a
let us
2-day
adventure.
setup. But there's arrows from the cordon of arrows set up like everywhere, like hidden behind umbrella stands and like up in the rafters.
Zerth's gonna try his best not to trigger it, but if he does, he's gonna be hunting down Sinnoh.
I'm feeling strangely cozy here. Can't really explain it.
It is feeling quite a bit warm.
Oh no, I meant with the traps.
Oh yeah.
Like it feels much more safe now. I don't know. Something about my cold nature feels okay with.
I think Sinnoh has lost it. We may have to put him down.
Can I just say
We
real
need more
quick
traps.
how
We got to make sure that they can't get in here. We got to make sure that if they do get in here, they got to die. Yes, they got to die immediately.
Sinnoh, are you okay?
They're coming for me.
I'm posting a video for you guys.
Right, he's got that bounty.
So I just want to say real quick, I love how Zerth says Sinnoh, because it sounds like he's saying Sinnoh, ending with an O, and I think it's pretty. I think it's like an accent kind of thing. Like as a big gator, he's kind of having trouble saying Sinnoh's name.
L's are a little bit hard for him.
It is. I don't have lips.
It's great.
I guess kind of like Asriel and Azriel. I guess a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a medicine check on the mental health of
Ah.
the Pine Martin?
I'd say you're fairly familiar with that, so go ahead.
He's
No,
paranoid.
Sinnoh,
He's very paranoid and antsy. He does not like sitting in one place. Having this house, he's not happy about it.
All right, yep, that's definitely a video of Siddle.
Oh no.
I need to. Oh,
Oh, it's so good.
I'll go post that up in media sharing so everybody else can see.
You probably haven't seen this, have you?
No.
nail gun! Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
That looks about right.
Yeah, especially with the ending, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do that at some
It's gonna
point.
happen, yeah.
You
That's
can't
what he
roll
needs
high
to
on
try
your
not
dex.
to do.
You can't roll high on your dex save every time.
Zerf's gonna spend some time with Sinnoh then.
All right.
Well, once we got out of the basement, Anun was Anun was following Zerth to his pond.
Okay. Well, he's gonna dip in his pond first and probably spend some time with Inun, and then later at night he's gonna pull Sinnoh away quietly in the dark shadows.
Delva, quick question.
Yeah?
How long does it take to build a magic refrigerator? Basically a bag of colding, but attached to a box.
I'd say that'll probably be a common magic item.
Alright, cool. So a few hours. Got it. I'll spend my time doing that.
Are you going by the Xanathar's guide?
I
'Cause
forget.
there's a...
But
Here.
I doubt it takes a while.
It's not too much. It's maybe I think it's it's a day or two. Give me a
I
moment.
thought it would be like most.
I know you get a bonus to have it. No, that's Potter's tools. Didn't I have bookmarks in this? Apparently, this book in particular does not have bookmarks. Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I just watched that video, and yeah, that's basically gonna be Sinnoh.
Since it would be common, it would take 1 work week normally and 50 Galifars. But I think I know that you can have it.
Did you know, Dova?
Yeah.
That as a part of the new Artificer, I can't remember what level it is, but I know I'm past it. The time to create some kind of magic item is like the cost is reduced by a quarter and the time is reduced by half. I'm gonna read.
Okay. I know it's dependent on what subclass. That's what it used to be, at least.
Yes, I was smart enough to bookmark it. At least I think that's what this one. This might be the old one. Anyway, go do something with someone else while I look this up.
All right.
So,
Dusty.
What did I miss for what Zerth was doing with Sinnoh?
Zerth's gonna pull Sinnoh away at night.
You're pulling him away at night.
Yep.
All
In
right.
the shadows. He'll talk
Dusty,
to
you'd
him.
probably be awake during that point. Oh, did he leave? Who we lose? Dusty?
I leave and I return again. I had to do that mic reset thing that I told you about before.
Gotcha. What have you been doing during this time?
I've been making the attic mine. Also, I've probably been going around the edge of the ceiling and like ensuring that there's no spot that I can't latch myself onto and just hang.
Oh, there's plenty of spots. There's like rafters aplenty. There's 2 floors. There's the ground floor as well as a second floor. And that second floor has vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
With plenty of space for you to play around in.
Cool.
How familiar are you with tools and construction, though?
Not very.
If you wanted to
He's a
make
butcher, though.
that's quite a bit different from
Yeah.
carpentry. So if you wanted to make like places to put your things, it's all going to be like very temporary, like suspended with ropes that you just kind of tie onto the rafters, with no real flooring or anything like that.
Mm.
If you wanted to, you could probably pull someone up there to do it and help you out, but
Okay, so just to specify the right tool for the job thing, I get that at 3rd level, and with an hour of uninterrupted work, I can create a set of artisan tools, and they last until I use the feature.
all right.
Dusty would probably try and get Sinil. with the excuse being ambush perches. Ambush perches.
Oh, that's a great idea. We could definitely set up some up there. They would make great perches to
you catch them as they're going outside.
Quiet, voice in the sky. We're gonna be getting this set up.
Oh, now I can't see Sinnel as anyone other than Charlie, and I love
it.
Okay, here's what I was looking at. I can attune up to 4 magic items at once, and if I craft a magic item with rarity common or uncommon, it takes a quarter of the normal time, and it costs half as much as usual gold.
Yeah.
So a quarter of the time.
So since the Xanathar's Guide is going by 10-day weeks. It's going by Forgotten Realms. Plus 10 is a lot easier to divide in quarters and halves as opposed to 7. So, 3 days and 25 gold.
Sweet. Having a magic refrigerator is super important if you're going to be living.
I mean, you've also got a basement and it's winter. But continue, Sinnel. And Zerth and Dusty.
Won't be winter for much longer.
Sinnel would refuse to go into the dark area. No, they could be hiding from me over there. We're not going there. We gotta finish setting up the traps. We need more traps.
Ambush perches.
To know if there was any more traps, this house is literally a trap. There is no room to move, and I think it's mentally unhealthy for you.
They're coming for me, though. You saw them.
All right, Sinnel.
They're coming.
All right, so why are they coming?
The bounty.
Okay, how do we clear the bounty? Can we kill the people who, instead of just waiting for people to come, why don't we just make them stop?
Oh God, Jaffer. Oh God.
What did Jaffer do?
Moderate ethereal
You're already role-playing that way, so it works.
No, I'm not quite role-playing that.
Yet.
All of Siddle's drinks are magically caffeinated.
Oh God!
Well, make sure you enunciate.
Use proper wordage.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We are safe here. We have a secured house protected by a spooky ghost. And I'm here.
The ghost doesn't even like us. We can't count on the ghost. It's not a thing. It's just gonna eat us in the night. It might claim the bounty on me. I don't know. Maybe it is here from them. Maybe they put it here. It could have possibly been put here by them. What?
Zerth's gonna take his big meaty claws and put them on his Sinnoh's shoulder and look him down the eyes. What does a ghost have need for money?
How am I supposed to know? Maybe he's just been... Maybe he's been contracted or bound to this.
He's gonna start shaking
Magic
them.
is a horrible thing. He is
Zerth, can you
vibrating.
do like a mental scan of him, or I don't know. You're a cleric. You heal people. What's wrong with him?
Or at least just slap him.
That seems to work in the books.
I'm gonna slap him with my tail.
Take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, Sinnel.
And make another wisdom save.
You're part of them. You're part of them.
All right, guys, let's vote to kick Sinnel out of the group.
Clutch or kick.
Mod/kick.
You're part of them. There's enemies all around.
Sinnoh, there is no enemies here, just allies. You are safe.
They found me in the other city.
Yes, but that was the other city. If anyone comes that is not welcome here, well, we'll be having smoked meat for dinner.
They managed to put.
Yeah,
they managed to ambush us and almost get us.
For any group to come.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Which one?
I think Inun.
What was that?
Did you say something in the middle of that?
Maybe, but I forgot. I think I was trying to mute myself. My bad.
All right, cool.
Zerth's just gonna like pick Sinnoh up and take him over to the water and just like dunk him in the water.
Temperature's not that bad, actually.
Drowning. Drowning's good.
Okay, we've got a lot of influence popping in right now. So a dozen eggs roll down the hallway toward me. A ghost that only myself and one other player can see floats by. And then Jaffer wants me to see Telegram. Oh, jeez. Alright, I'll leave all those in your capable hands, Nova, while Sinnel's getting dunked.
On a scale of 1 to Jaffer, how bad is it?
Jaffer.
That's fairly Jaffer, yeah.
Okay.
It's,
So, give me a wisdom saving throw on the tower, Sinnel. Actually, sanity check.
I don't know if I've got that. Oh, wait, the special stat.
Yep. Just go ahead and do a roll of that in the tower.
Mine is 0, so...
All right. So, as thoughts and doubts and paranoia race through your head, there's a brief moment of quiet in the conversation as you hear kind of whispered from the floorboards all around you, almost kind of creeping up through the cracks, whispering kind of through the walls, and nobody else seems to hear, but it says, "Enemies all around. All around."
Dang it, I thought Dova was about to say enemy spotted.
Fuck. And at that moment, Sinnel.
No, you see, he gets a glowing sword that glows when there's danger, but it never stops glowing.
Always
It's
glow.
called the Anxiety Blade.
Sinnel. At that moment, something seems to snap and almost your brain starts to run away on its own. Eyes kind of bolting from one area to the next, one shadow to to another, as you keep analyzing where the next attack might come from. You see someone dart around the corner. You don't know who they are, and you don't recognize them.
Dova, he was literally already like that.
No,
But
he
even
wasn't
more so.
actually seeing things.
Why does Sinnel not have disadvantage? He's
Oh
losing
no,
his
that's
mind
a
on
that's a
wisdom
personal that's a personal role.
save. All right.
Also, in addition to that, Dusty, as you're kind of perched in the rafters just above this, kind of watching it all go down, you also see the shadowy figure kind of run from one side of the hallway to the next, kind of far down, almost on the opposite side of the house. You can see through a lot of open doors.
Did
Did you see that? There's
problematic.
there was a thing that just went around that corner. It said enemies. You're an enemy, aren't you? You're an absolute. Sinnel's gonna try and get away from Zerth as quickly as possible.
Okay. Zerth, how hard are you hanging on hard at all?
Medically hard. So hard.
So, like an orderly grip?
Yep.
Go ahead and give me an athletics versus either your athletics or acrobatics, Sinnoh. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
I was like, he's definitely getting away, and then that one popped up, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
At this point, he's almost to the point of just... He's swapping between shrieking in terror and mumbling incoherently.
Go ahead and take 10 points of necrotic damage as you feel your heart beat out of just continue to beat in your chest almost at a frantic pace.
Done.
All right. Zerth,
Yes.
what'd you like to do?
I'm
You've got a hand on his kind of struggling frame.
I'm gonna cast a spell.
All right, what spell?
I'm gonna cast command on him. He must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow a command on its next turn. So I gotta speak up.
Zerth. I'd say you would probably know with your experience in sort of knowing these spells that's probably a bad idea in this state. Command really doesn't change his emotions, but rather makes him feel compelled to kind of obey. In a state like this, it might just make things worse.
Here's a quick question.
As far as his health is concerned, he'll do what you want, but it's not going to be good for his noggin.
Do you have greater restoration yet?
I do, but I don't think that's gonna work on this.
I can't remember if it was lesser or greater restoration, but one of them cures levels of madness. I want to say it's greater.
Let's see, greater. One effect that charmed or petrified the target. One curse, including the target's attunement to a cursed magical item. Any reduction in one of the target's ability scores. One effect reducing the target's hit points.
It wouldn't say in
And
the
then
spell.
in the DMG, it's saying lesser restoration at the minimum.
Okay. Yeah, like I was about to say, it's in the DMG,
for indefinite madness, then that would probably be a greater restoration. But it's up to Sinnoh to decide what this might be.
I'd say it's a temporary madness kind of thing.
Yeah, that's about right.
So just a lesser would probably work. At least temporarily.
Let's see. Would Zerth think of that in this, though?
He'd have enough knowledge of his spells to at least consider it. Yeah.
Okay. So he'll cast that then.
All right. Sinnoh, it felt almost like your mind was kind of tumbling down a steep mountain cliff. But all of a sudden, everything just slows down and clarity returns to you, almost as if you're dunking into a pool of very cool, refreshing water. As everything's slow, everything's at least clear for the moment. You still have that pressing anxiety in the back of your mind, but you're back in your facilities.
He just kind of blinks for a moment, clearly confused. Calming down, though, definitely.
How are you feeling? Are you okay?
I need to put an end to this.
Yes, it's not healthy. It's gonna drive you way worse to something that I cannot cure. We are here to help you.
We need to take down the tyrant.
Zerth's gonna look at Inun and just go, then we will.
We need to actually kill him. I let him go, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, we're start looking.
Dova, could you bring up the map?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember the region.
Come on, but there you go. Somebody needs to draw a little house on this map now. Because you're about, I think you're about an hour walk north of Hatheril. I pressed share, and none of the icons are showing up yet, so...
Oh, I've got it up.
Oh, there we go.
Somewhere in Valinar. Possibly Cabrera.
Then that will be our quest. And honestly, I think it would be best for everyone, because I swear if I see another bucket full of questionable liquid above a door frame, we're gonna have some words. As he just kind of cracks a smile.
Careful about the one above Cobalt, or Yark's door.
What's that one full of?
Well, I had to use the restroom.
Oh.
Oh, he just face bombs himself.
And he's just gonna leave.
You... An insane fur coat is not a fur coat. We need to take care of this.
Dusty. Don't remember if you said this, but did you go and investigate the figure that you saw?
Of course.
Just,
He's super curious. If there's something new, he's gonna chase it.
give me an investigation check. Okay. So, as you go and you look to see if the figure's still there, but to no avail. You can't see anybody. Can't find kind of signs of anybody actually being here. However, kind of heading back to the little foyer where everyone's kind of talking and trying to figure out a plan, you do notice that on one of the windowsills, there's a small kind of puddle of water right on the windowsill. And as you kind of look out, you kind of brush away some of the condensation from the window, and for a brief moment, before it gets kind of filled in by a sudden, fairly stout gust of wind, you see a footprint. Roughly humanoid size.
I meant, which direction was the toe facing?
Towards the house. To your knowledge, a little bit of snow was on the windowsill. Possibly a little bit on the floor right beyond it.
House! We're hunting today!
What'd you say?
House! We're hunting today!
Can you say that loud enough for Sinnel to hear?
What?
Absolutely! He said it as loud as he could!
As you like charge off just into the house, tearing it apart. All right.
But then again, this is Dusty we're dealing with.
It's like living in a daycare.
Yeah.
Is there a question?
You take care of one child, here comes another.
And they can wield weapons.
Is there a quick question?
Yes.
How good have you become at just snatching Dusty out of the air mid-flight when he flies by it? While he flies by at unreasonable speed.
He actually has expertise in it.
Mm-hmm.
You might need to do that before he destroys your new house.
Or rather, the traps deploy and, you know...
Strangely enough, he
Also
manages to not set off any traps, but you do hear the very distinct sound of a vase dropping off a pedestal, shattering, and then oh my gosh, I'm having an actual brain fart right now. And then Rosalind just kind of yelling out something profane.
Zerth and the poltergeist yell at the same time, "We're tired of your shit."
All right. What time is it? 8:51. Still got an hour left.
If you're on the correct time.
We'll probably head out like the next day.
All right. Valinar, by the way, is on the opposite side of the Mournlands. There's the only train line that goes in that direction goes through Thrain, which the kingdom that you're in is currently at war with.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes all the way around through, or no, it stays out of Ondair, but it goes through Karnath as well as the fairly lawless Talenta Plains.
The train line is that yellow line, right?
Correct.
Oh wow, that goes all the way north.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're in I think you're as far from any navigable piece of ocean as you could possibly be.
But we're near Lake Bray, so...
Yep. We had some good times at Lake Bray.
Yeah, you did a beach volleyball with a couple of, I think it was a Minotaur and an Orc guy.
Oh, I totally forgot about that because...
I forgot that was what the lake was.
Netball.
Underground.
Oh yeah, netball.
The basement.
That's where we found that underground cavern when we were doing our first bounty. Good memories.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I blanked out the anime volleyball part.
Even a tossed hot dog.
That was the beach episode is what you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, Zerth would just suggest, like, okay, if we're going to do this, we'll start bright and early tomorrow. Get supplies, get well rest.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone seen that anime, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen any of the OVAs that
No.
they've released recently?
Mm-mm.
You
I have
probably should, because they did the beach episode, and they did it like making fun of the beach episode stereotype. Like they started off with, of course, they show all the girls in, but then they show the guys in swimsuits, and it's like just as dramatic. It's amazing. I can't. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's the best swimsuit episode.
Full.
Alright, I'd stepped away for just a moment. Cinna would reply to Zerth with a nod. Yeah. That sounds good. Gonna be a lot of traveling.
Yes. And we'll be sure to keep a lookout. And Zerth would probably gator his way back into the pond.
All right.
In deep thought.
Cinna... go ahead.
I was gonna say he's got some questions to ask somebody important very later tonight.
Cinna's going to head back to his room, which, for the record, is... Well, if you think the rest of the house is crazily trapped, it's even worse in his room.
Takes him 5 minutes to unlock the door.
Yeah. 5 minutes to unlock the door, 15 minutes to maneuver through everything safely.
I assume you chose one of the rooms without windows.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
As close to the middle of the house as possible.
All right.
He'll be
The most
perfectly safe in his bed, but anything else coming into the room without, proper precautions is gonna die.
Hell yeah.
Well, most likely.
I'll be right back. I gotta let the dog out.
Okay.
Who let the dogs out?
So we know who it was. It was Tanoga. We finally have that answer.
Yeah, it was him.
We did it. We did it, guys.
We did it, guys.
campaign over.
50,000. What was it?
We figured out the culprit. Our investigation was a success.
Zerth let the dog out. All of them.
All of the dogs.
If
All of
Cinna tripped, he would have been dead. But he's a pine marten,
Get that
so
dexterity check.
them tripping is basically impossible.
Well, you rolled a 2 on your sanity check.
You're also a bipedal anthropomorphic pine marten.
You're a bit
Not as-
wiggly. Yeah. Okay. Got a lot of windows open right now.
They could come in through those. Shut them! Shut them!
I'm closing all my windows. I gotta read up on Kubara and Valinar. It's been a while
Speaking of
since I looked
Dusty's
at it.
rampage, I believe I said he went into the basement.
You did?
I did.
All right, then I suppose you'd have I don't think you've been down to the basement yet, so the
I'm
kind
back.
of unnerving feeling you get from being kind of constantly watched is
Wait, where's
fairly
Valinor?
off-putting. Valinar's on the right side of the Mournlands. There, it's to the east.
What's this one here? Ghost, aid me!
I just see Volyar.
Valinor, directly to the right of the Mournlands, south of Talenta Plains. Sinel himself is from the Kubaran jungle, off to the east of there. But his village was basically enslaved and taken to Valinor.
Oh, okay.
Ghost, there's a person in the house and we can't find them.
I don't think Anun's gonna have any issue crossing borders, though. I mean, he's from the Eldian Reaches and the Grove of Guardian Trees. He's just from a forest tribe.
Dusty, you don't get any response, but you still feel that kind of unnerving feeling of somebody watching from the shadows.
For something to like take over.
Nothing. It seems to be leaving you alone at the moment.
Ghost, Ghost, come on! I will annoy you until you help me.
Give me an acrobatics check. Actually, no, dexterity saving throw. All right. You do not collide with anything as a tremendous wall of force slams into you and pushes you back up the stairs. You're able to easily catch yourself with your wings before you hit any like door frame or tripwire or anything like that. As you have been forcefully ejected from the basement. Sorry, you're a little bit quiet right there. What'd you say?
He's going back in the basement.
He's gonna what?
He's going back in the basement.
All right. Give me another dexterity saving throw. What's in the bucket kind of above the entryway, Sinel? Is that the one with the broken glass in it?
Definitely. Well, no. That one would be a sticky resin kind of thing.
All right,
It would be
kind of
the
like
next-
Like
kind of like
tree
a
sap?
glue.
Yeah.
Like tree sap?
All right. Well, it's got to be fairly thin so it can actually flow very well.
He probably would have mixed it with just enough water to make it able to flow, but still sticky enough.
Gotcha.
And then the next bucket is the one with the glass.
Gotcha. Dusty.
Yes.
This time, as you're pushed out, the angle seems to adjust a bit, just enough for you to trigger one of the door traps. As you step forward to kind of persistently continue, a bucket as well as some fairly thinned and extremely sticky goop kind of falls on you, along with the bucket as it kind of clambers over your head with a heavy clunk.
Oh, so I have your attention.
Sinel, you hear one of your traps go off.
Would I though?
I guess not. It's a bucket trap. If he was in the area, he would have seen it though.
Yeah, he definitely didn't hear it.
All right.
If he did hear it, then he'd be right back into panic mode, and I don't want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
He starts slowly crawling towards the basement and says, I can do this all day, buddy. You just made me angry that you just made me.
But until you get the glue off of you, your speed is halved. As both your feet get stuck to the ground wherever you walk, as well as your wings are kind of weighted down with the glue itself.
It started to push me now.
But this only lasts for about 30 seconds before his Cur ribbon activates. Or sorry, Cur headband.
I forgot about that. You blew in every direction.
Because it's so heavy. Because it's so heavy and thick.
No, the entire hall is covered in glue.
Because it's so heavy and thick, it takes a little bit. But Dusty turned the force of the repellent all the way up. So it's going to be quite explosive.
As it gets everywhere, including over a not expensive, but it's a painting, so basically ruins that. As well as gets all up in the carpet.
My fault.
Just as Zerth walks by to see what that bucket falling sound was.
Sinnoh! As he bellows.
You probably would have heard your name called, though, Sinnoh.
He'll sit up quickly, but unless he hears something else, he's gonna try and go back to sleep.
What is all this sticky stuff, and why is it everywhere?
Oh, okay.
It's kind of muffled from behind your door.
Now he's gonna go to sleep.
So about 20 minutes later, he finally emerges from his bedroom.
First he was sleeping peacefully, and now he's sleeping nervously.
Got to use the bathroom real quick, so I'll be back in a jiffy.
You know, Jiffy?
Well, what are you doing? Because, it's going to take him 20 minutes to get out of his bedroom.
Sarah's just looking at the carpet rug, just ruined. It's like when you walk in a movie theater and the ground is really sticky and you just kind of do your foot thing. That's what he's doing with his bare claw feet. It's like.
And then he stands in front of Sinnoh's bedroom, he's tapping his foot impatiently, but it's really slow, and it's like.
Yeah. Arms crossed. It's in the raccoon wounds.
Wait, raccoon rune? What?
You've never seen that?
I forget what that's from, but I know. Is that Family Guy?
Isn't
it? Guy. Peter gets his face torn up by a raccoon, and then, yeah.
I forget what he got doused with or whatever.
Water potty.
That's what it was. Oh, he got
it's everywhere. It's in the raccoon wounds.
I'm back. So, during your second night, would you like to set a watch or anything? Also, is anybody going to clean up the glue catastrophe?
Sinnoh will.
All right. Can you actually get him out of his room, though?
He's getting out of that room.
It takes him 20 minutes, but yeah, he finally comes out of the room.
I will scare the crap out of this thing.
I don't know how to clean this up.
You said it, you clean it.
It's not my fault he tripped it.
I just look at you like, really?
Yes, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Clean it up, I'm gonna use your fur to clean it up. And it's much worse than fur.
But this is our ultimate quest, right? We have to go find universal solvent to clean up the pine glue in our house.
Mhm.
Oh, it becomes pine glue if it gets in his coat.
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
Well, he's
Pine
got
sap.
no prestidigitation, so...
So we better get a nude, is what you're saying.
Probably, or Yark.
Or Yark.
I don't know prestidigitation.
Well, he
I
doesn't
now
know what
have
you
a
know.
more important question. Sinnel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess for Sinnel. Is pine sap an insult to them?
No. Why would it be?
It's a pun.
Oh, fair enough.
What about egg stealing woozle? Is that an insult?
The woozle part is, yes.
Just super offensive.
Yeah, the woozle part is likely to get you killed.
Sinzo's just gonna walk away and just gonna assume Sinno's gonna figure out a way to clean up your mess. As he's going to go to his pond in the middle of the night and just kinda try to talk to his goddess.
Hey, Zerth,
Yeah?
make a dex save.
Did you trap the pond?
I trapped
Did you-
everything.
Did you trap my pond?
It is either the water is stale, stagnant, and gross, or it's got an underground source. And we were dealing with assassins that turned into water elementals.
What's inside there?
Did you do my
It's
pond?
not what's inside. The outside of it, just around the outside, is a cordon or a little trap set up for firing specifically his arrows +1.
Against water elementals? I don't know about that.
They're magical.
I guess that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your?
Totally
Is
forgot
that
about
using
the
your
water
cordon of
elementals.
arrows?
Yeah.
How many times can you cast that per day?
Well, sorry. No, he would have rigged up a kind of a makeshift dart launcher kind of thing. Because he wants it permanent.
This is the nail gun. You set it up.
Yeah, like the nail gun.
I'd say that would definitely be some sort of fabrication. Give me a survival check.
I did give you a buff.
Set up like a crossbow, or but this one is
Crossbow
specific
rogue,
because
yeah.
it seems a little bit outside of a
Okay.
kind of a simple trap setting up. As you would have probably might have fashioned a homemade ballista.
What did I tell you about shooting arrows at my scaly butt?
Well, luckily, that's exactly where it's going.
So it goes off. Go ahead.
Go ahead, what?
All right.
Damage is that?
So, you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage as the arrow which was rigged doesn't manage to get through your armor, but the force of it hitting you at such a high speed hurts quite a bit. As kind of heading into the pool, you tripped a hidden tripwire and set off one of the homemade ballistas pointing towards the pool in the middle.
Damn you, Pie Martin!
As you just sink into the water right away.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Siddle's so being killed for this, but it's exactly what he would have done in his panic mind.
He's gonna sink to the bottom, slowly pulling arrows out of his butt.
I mean, it'd only be a one arrow that hit you. But there are three other ballistas set up.
And he's gonna start, like, he's gonna deal with that tomorrow.
I suppose I should mark that as used.
How do you spell Shaw so I can add Pine Martin Shaw to my inventory?
It's not big enough for a fur coat. It's just like a poncho.
Yeah.
A scarf.
I'll make him a scarf.
So, give me a religion check. Zerth.
Religion. It's the arrow.
All right. What do you
have
say?
Guidance.
I don't have guidance.
We have 2 guidance in the pool.
Well, we have a few of them. With the moderate, I'd say everybody gets 1 use of the +2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
But that wouldn't help at all.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking of something else.
Not with that one. He goes. He just does a basic update of like the house and you're welcome here, and yeah, and then he goes. I heard from a source that is very uncommon for gods to communicate with their clerics. How much of that is true?
There's a long, kind of drawn-out silence. You can feel the water in the pool kind of very slowly shifting around as water is almost constantly being slowly pumped in and out by the heating system in the basement. Until almost kind of coming from the vibrations coming from the water around you. A very quiet voice kind of whispers. And at the same moment you hear the voice, something in your chest kind of changes. You're very aware of your heart at that moment, as you feel almost a tightness in it. As it says, "Nothing that you should be concerned about."
Does this sound like her?
Yeah.
Okay.
From what you remember, this appears to be the sound of the Fury.
He's gonna go. What would he say to that? He's gonna go. Very well. I trust you. You know that. and I will be trusting as always. But I would wish we would commune more often about things.
That was me as the DM thinking. Sorry.
I know, I say interesting things.
A prudent choice.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw. All right. So there's a very a long sort of drawn out pause. That sort of tightness in your chest continuing. But she kind of whispers to you fairly quietly, saying, "Do not test my patience with curiosity. I don't believe it will get you very far." And at that moment, you feel a very uncomfortable sensation inside your chest. You take 39 points of necrotic damage as your heart stops. And in that moment of almost gasping for breath in ways that you couldn't possibly draw, the whisper almost descends all the way right into your head as it says, "Forget not how easy it would be to just let go. I brought you here and I can take you back." As life returns back to your veins.
Is this okay? He's just gonna like gasp as he rises to the surface. Is this like? I don't even know how the hell to ask this.
Hey, she's not listening. I, the DM, am listening right now.
Okay, so it's kind of like a two-part question. Is the only way I can think about asking this that would make sense. Is this like a okay, god damn it. Is this like a tone that he's used to interacting or something seemed like he struck a nerve?
Give me an insight check with advantage.
Could Sinel have wandered in there to get water from the pond for cleaning the glue?
In a moment.
Okay.
Zerth, you would know that this is definitely different. In her voice, in her actions, you could almost feel a little bit, just a tiny bit of insecurity. Not insecurity in like the kind of funny haha way. More of the tiniest itty bitty sliver of vulnerability.
And she reacted out of anger because she didn't want to dwell on it. Kind of thing.
Something like that.
Like when you're talking to somebody and you say something like true or like something like, oh, well, insecure, and they just kind of lash out at you.
A little bit like that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he's gonna take a note and actually let out a very sad sigh, knowing that, like, he said something, like, he thought he offended her, but more of, like, he said something that it almost seems like she's scared to admit a truth to him, and just kind of acted aggressively out of defense than malice kind of thing.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh,
as far as Zerth is aware, that is.
Yeah, it's like he didn't piss her off because he was worried about that. More like, oh, there's more to this story, and just kind of struck a nerve, and she doesn't know how to handle it, kind of thing. He's like, okay. And then the second part question, actually, that kind of followed into the second part question. Okay, so that answered both questions with only asking one. That worked. I would say he would probably raise up at that point then, and he would just kind of note of like, okay, well, he's gonna have to talk to her, but he's gonna have to be like very alone with nobody around, and gonna give her like a while before he like pokes the fire bear thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like a Drake incarnation.
You never want to poke the fire bear.
It's at about this point, Sinnel, that you've kind of wandered down. You heard one of your like scrap ballistae go off, and you're a little bit wary.
Yeah, he kind of stands at the doorway, peeking out.
You'd see Zerth kind of emerging from the pool. You don't notice any arrows sticking out of him, but he looks ragged. He's kind of got a slight limp, not from an actual injury, but it's hard to tell.
He is gonna cautiously approach, carrying the now mostly empty bucket of glue. You okay there, Zerth? It didn't hit you that hard, did it?
He turns around and like he tries to hide it, but he's like, there's like a complete like different type of concern on his face, before it just like vanishes. Like he's just been through something that kind of hit him deep, and he just goes, well, let's just say I was surprised. Oh, Sinnoh.
Yes.
And he'll tower over him as he comes in and gives him a hug.
Marketing embrace.
Siddle is rigid as all hell right now.
Good. And he starts just kind of like, okay, I'm going to use this word, but this is not the right word. Feeling Sinnoh. Just kind of like patting him, and he's going to whisper into his ear and go, "You're going to make a fine Shaw when I get done with you."
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Sinnel, you know what? I'm just gonna roll opposed. Okay, yeah. He shudders violently and drops the bucket, trying to wiggle away from the grasp. Excuse me, I need to go fill up Yark's bucket more.
Oh, I can do that for you. As he's gonna like, as he's holding him, he's gonna jump back into the water.
You're pulling him into the water with you?
Yeah, more in a playful manner now.
Gotcha.
Like if you're grabbing somebody and just kind of pulling them into a pool.
Just kind of push him over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did see it that way.
Good. Instill fear of the gator.
Alright, give me an athletics versus acrobatics. Or athletics if you want.
Oh, what is with my rolls?
Into the pool.
You know, all of the rolls that are for the traps have been pretty great. But all of the rolls for me to be sane are terrible.
Or protected from the gator.
Well, he's definitely choking on some water now from the unexpected, pulling in. And at this point, he would have, let go.
Mm-hmm.
So, the water's a little bit warmer for you now.
Sort of just gonna crack a smile and just trying to use like humor to help Sinnoh heal more out of the thing. And he'll just go like, I will just assume that trapping this pond was more out of my safety than anything.
It was for everybody's safety.
I do appreciate your concern, and he'll reach a hand out to help Sinnoh come out of this really deep pond.
He'll take it cautiously.
Yeah, and he'll pull him up and just goes, just for a future reference, if you or anyone messes with that pond, it'll be the last thing anyone sees. Just dead serious.
Roger, got it. I'll take them down now.
Very good. And he'll just light a cigar and start walking off. Make sure you have a restful night. He waves with his tail.
Sinnoh is shivering, partially from cold, partially from terror.
My job's done.
I suppose I should probably have to roll to make sure I can actually take these traps down.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can dismantle them fairly easily.
Terror is just navigating you.
No Happy Gilmore? Guy with the nail in his head?
Yeah.
After that, he's just gonna go to bed. The glue's still
All right.
there, but he's done for the night. It's been
All
a
right.
stressful day.
Zerth, I'm guessing you go to bed as well? Zerth?
Oh, my headset like beeped as soon as you said that, so I had to plug it in.
Ah. I'm guessing
yeah.
you... Okay.
Yeah, he'll go to bed.
What's your perception? Ba-ba-ba. As you are heading up one of the staircases, you kind of look down for a moment after thinking you saw some movement, and for a brief moment, just in kind of right behind one of the pylons, one of the large columns inside some of the larger rooms, you see. You estimate about 5 foot tall, maybe 5.5. Just a fairly dark looking silhouette who after you kind of look in their direction, kind of fade back into the shadows of the darkened household. You have a good idea that you know who that was. It was probably the poltergeist.
And that's to Sinnoh?
That's to Zerth.
Okay.
Zerth, through these days, would have probably asked the poltergeist like what to call it.
All right. You still wouldn't get any response just yet.
Have a good night, Billy. He'll just keep calling it Billy until it corrects him.
That is too soon, Zerth. too soon. Poor Billy Mays. Nobody can
That was
sell
a
products
long time
like
ago.
you.
Except the slap chop guy. He can do it.
The period of
I'm Vince
mourning.
with slap chop. Hey, slap it once.
You know what's great? I actually
Slap
have
these
some
nuts.
of that kaboom that turns blue in my
Oh,
house
really?
right now.
Does it work?
Yeah, it still does. Just like when Billy first told me about it. I think it was in my
Kaboom!
last house. Someone just left it there, and I took it with me.
I forgot about Billy Mays. I'm ashamed of myself. R.I.P. Billy.
The only reason I remembered him was because when I was building my computer, I was listening to music, and I was just listening on YouTube, and it, pulled me down the rabbit hole to the epic rap battles with him.
Oh, I forgot they had one of him. Who was it? Wasn't he versing like the ShamWow guy?
No, he was.
Yeah,
the
Vince something.
ShamWow took over after he died in it. He was against, I think, Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin. That's right.
So, overnight, again, nothing seems to happen.
Gothic, to answer your question, the Hell Brigade, you won't know until the donation goal is completed. We don't even know. Only Dova knows.
It's a mystery inside a mystery.
It could.
It's
help
not that
the
many
party.
mysteries.
It could hurt them. Who knows?
Well, with the name of Hell Brigade, I think of 10 different things.
Anyways, during the night, nothing seems to happen. And you awake the next day to a bit of light snowfall. Fairly calm winds. Kind of partly cloudy with a very thin, kind of steady snowfall. Probably going throughout the day. Those of you with nature knowledge would know.
Okay.
So what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna climb out of my tent and stretch.
All right. Your back pops in a way that is kind of uncomfortable for a moment until a wave of relief passes over you.
Oh, that's my life. Yeah, okay, I get it.
I should give you guys a long rest because I know one of you guys is a bit hurt.
Just a wee bit.
It's just a tad. Oof, that's 52 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Sinnoh's a bit hurt too.
His goddess don't play around.
Nah.
He finds that very endearing, even if it's against him.
Sinnoh, there were still some patches of the glue which you really weren't able to clean up, just due to kind of lacking time, as well as it getting very dark by the time you're almost done. So you figure you might as well just put some cleaning solution on it, just some like soapy water, and just let it soak overnight. When you go to finish up the cleaning, you find that you think that soapy water did a real good job because the glue is gone. It is sparkling clean right there.
Interesting.
There's no dust even.
So is the carpet not even a little sticky anymore?
Carpet is pristine. It's just as kind of colorful as the day that it moved in, which was early yesterday. It took one day for you guys to ruin that carpet.
Zerth.
He'll stretch, do that old man father stretch.
Lots of just grunting.
Mm-hmm. as he comes out.
So,
You did a good job.
I did an okay job. I didn't do the rest of this.
He'll just like, not loudly, just goes, "Billy, did you do this?"
nothing.
I will assume that's a yes. He'll pat Sinnoh on the head.
Sinnoh will shudder a bit and flinch.
Crack a smile as he walks to the kitchen.
He's still a little scared of Zerth.
Good. I mean, no. He'll start his day.
All right.
Sinnoh's gonna wait for Zerth to leave the kitchen and then go in for his breakfast. In the meantime, he's checking his traps, taking down a couple of the
more annoying and messy ones.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Dusty, what does your morning look like? Are you on a what's the word for sleeping at sleeping in the day and being awake? Nocturnal. Are you on a nocturnal schedule still, or are you going to try to switch over to a diurnal?
No, daytime still makes him sleepy. So unless Zerth wakes him up with a special password, he's probably gonna be a nocturnal.
All right. But you've got a fairly nice little nest going on, up in one of the guest bedrooms on the second floor. But it's about 10 to 15 feet up at the highest spots, which is plenty of height. Or at the lowest spots, rather. It gets up to about 25 feet in the air, near the apex of some of these roofs. All right. But I assume you get waken up by somebody just for breakfast.
Maybe.
All right. Yark, what's for breakfast? Along with the furniture, you'd managed to negotiate a deal where, for a heavy discount, quite a lot of flour, or kind of various grains, dried meats, and sort of dried staple goods would be delivered. Yark? I think we lost him. Yeah. Because if you're trying to say something, then we cannot hear you and you're muted. Oh. Hello.
Okay, cool. I needed to plug in my headset to charge it. So I unplugged my snowball and plugged it back into the cooling pad that it sits on. But I guess it didn't work.
That's two people who ran out of battery in their headset in one session.
Yeah, I probably should charge this more often. Anyway, I was asking, and I tried to ask this quite a bit, but you couldn't hear me. What did anyone catch me for that I might use for breakfast? Meat, protein.
I don't know. Sinal, are you in the sort of state of mind to go hunting?
I want people to
or maybe procure is a better option since there's probably a butcher shop.
Yark, did you hear what Dova said? about you getting a delivery?
That would be of like dried stuff, not necessarily like fresh meat.
Oh, okay.
Like grains and stuff.
I mean, town's only a half-hour walk away. If you want, you could probably like rope Dusty into flying you there and coming back with a bag of maybe like a goat haunch or something like that.
That
Sinnoh
could be
could go
very
hunting.
doable.
Sinnoh could go hunting.
Give me a survival check with disadvantage since you are a little bit paranoid right now.
You can go with them.
Just in case, I'm gonna have Dusty go procure one ham leg, like one beefy piece of ham,
All right.
and I'll show him the payment when he gets back.
How much money would you give him to actually buy it, or would you just tell him to go buy it himself?
Oh, how much would it be?
Maybe a Galifar.
All right, well, I'll give him a Galifar, and then his delivery fee, I'll show him when he gets.
All right. You there, Dusty?
Yes, hello, I am back.
All right.
Delivery fee, you say?
Well, of course, if you're going to pick up raw meat quite often, then you deserve to be paid.
Can we eat it?
One might say you can drink it.
Interesting. Drinking meat. I've not tried that before. You have me convinced.
He's gonna slap the Galifar in his hand and say, "Hurry up! Breakfast will be late if you don't hurry."
I guess for continuity,
Yeah. And he runs off. But before he does, he like stops at the doorway and then turns around and says, "Oh yeah, I think someone's stuck into the house."
Yark is already focusing on the other ingredients, and he just waves a hand at Dusty and says, "I'll make an extra plate."
Dusty puffs his chest out and says, "I have done my familial duties," and goes to get the meat.
All right.
Someone's get mad at him.
So, Sinel, as you are kind of walking through the woods around just the outside of the house, almost just to kind of shake your legs out a bit and kind of warm up for going out into the darkness, or not into the darkness, into the woods. Give me a perception check real quick.
Oh joy.
All right.
You
head out.
To soda too.
Does he get an advantage for smell?
Yes.
With advantage.
Fuck you guys.
He's kind of sniffing. He's kind of sniffing along the wall, doing dog-like things. Kind of stops for a moment, sniffs harder, stands up, takes a few steps, and marks it before kind of shaking off and running to catch up with you. But you head off into the woods, and I'd say you would manage to find 2 small rabbits, as well as you would also find probably 2 pheasants. Both of them roosters and with these very beautiful, super long tail feathers, with kind of an iridescent blue hue to them.
Wait, what?
But you managed to. Yeah, you 2 pheasants.
Oh, okay.
So 2 small. Yeah.
Okay.
I was still talking about the rabbits.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? Why are there blue rabbits?
Feathers on these rabbits are beautiful.
Yeah, I mean rabbits are pretty good too.
Good meat.
Oh, I'm sorry, the tail feathers aren't actually blue, like the head itself is. But you, about the same time you make it back, you see Dusty coming back from his shopping trip. Which, how'd that go, Dusty?
That depends. Was there any fuss?
Not necessarily.
I picked up my order.
All right.
However,
This is what I'm interested in.
meat did he get?
You would have managed to get an entire ham hock. So basically like a kind of a cartoonish, like a ham leg.
How much weight?
With the bone? Let's see. Pig weighs a lot. It's probably... I'd say this was about 25 pounds.
I was gonna say, if this isn't 15 pounds, he's gonna go back and say, I can't even feed my father for a meal with this.
No, it's a heavy son of a gun.
Okay then. If
And
it's
also-
good and heavy, he's happy with it.
With the change, you managed to score a pound of bacon as well.
Ooh, bacon.
All right. But
He will
kind
not
of
give
wobbling a bit
fuck.
in the air as you carry the heavy weight, you land down in the snow.
I have the meat.
Where's the beef?
The beef.
I'm debating whether or not to inflict psychic damage for that.
I mean, you inflicted a bunch of holy damage.
That's true.
He's got to get his morning dad joke in.
I'll give you. I'll let you have one pass.
You're so gracious.
I don't get those passes anymore. I just get the psychic damage.
Yeah, he's worked through his grace period.
The key is to sprinkle them out.
So, what sort of plans does everyone have on the roster today?
I know Zerth is
Harassing Sinnel today.
probably wants to get the adventure of paranoid Shaw over.
But,
Whenever
Yeah,
I'm not
Sinnel would want to get ready to go. Sorry.
whenever I'm not cooking, I'm gonna be working on the refrigerator, and
Okay.
it's gonna be a big one.
Like a dual chest size?
Yes, I've got a lot of people to cook for, and one of them is very large.
All right. Go ahead and give me a Tinker's check. Or a Tinker Tools check, rather. All right.
duh.
You get a plus. Oh, you're right, because you get expertise with them.
And I got +1 because special Tinker's tools.
Ooh.
All right, those masterwork ones. So, what does it look like? Keeping in mind you got a 30 on that check. I imagine there's a lot of nicely polished wood. It opens very, very smoothly, and there's just tons of various trays and storage potential inside.
Wood, Dova? Please. Do I look like the kind of guy who's a ton of scrap wood in his bag of...
All right, but keep in mind it'll take 30 pounds of scrap metal to make it like stainless steel.
Hold on, check.
How about that wood?
Let's
You have
also
a
not
lot of wood
forget-
everywhere.
I have
Let's
a
also
lot-
not
I
forget
know
that a
that.
lot of that scrap metal's been repurposed.
Repurposing stuff is what kobolds do best.
Well, it's currently in the traps.
What did you take by scrap metal? Oh, wait, you mean the wood. Never mind. I thought you meant
Oh, that's
by
true.
scrap.
No, the metal.
But, Dova, I have 117 pounds of scrap metal.
All right. If you want to make it look stainless steel, that'll be 30 of them.
Yes.
The framing will still be kind of strong timbers, unless you want to make it entirely metal, in which case that'll probably take all of your scrap metal.
Yeah, no, that's a little much.
Just like a bent sheet metal and then kind of nicely polished outside.
Yep.
Okay.
And
But,
the door, instead of opening like an actual refrigerator, the doors slide outward. Like sliding glass door, but refrigerator door.
Gotcha. As everyone's kind of just finished up breakfast and kind of hanging around the dinner table and discussing plans, you slot the last piece into place. And after a few moments, after you kind of turn on the last rune, the various interacting runes slowly kind of reverberating off of each other and kind of pushing heat in all directions. It grows at first. It's kind of a tiny little repetitive ticking noise, but about 10 seconds later, it's grown into a ungodly, unholy, just eldritch clatter that is downright deafening to be in the same room with.
Yark takes a deep breath and goes, the sound of a job well done. So
Everyone's
I'm
just
trying-
holding their ears.
So here's the thing. With all my artifice stuff, I'm trying to add a lot more magic to it, so it's not just machinery.
Mhm.
So when I slide the doors open, can they like hover for a moment and flip around in the air to show all the shelves that are in the door?
Sure. I'd say that there's a little bit of levitation going on right there.
Minor like magnetic magics I like to include in stuff like. Oh, breakfast.
As you open the door to check it, it seems that there's one of those drawers which is currently being spun at about maybe 5 or 6 times a second and just slamming into either side of the back. That seems to be what's making the noise.
I see. I throw a screwdriver at it, which lodges between the wall and the spinning thing to make it stop. And I gotta fix that.
It's kind of quivering and shaking, and it looks like it's about ready to just bust out of here. But the screwdriver holds it in place, almost like spears it to the back wall.
Then Yark says, the sound of a job well done.
Just don't look at that back part.
So while I fix that, breakfast today was thick cut roast ham with eggs and toast.
Delicious.
And Dusty's reward for being my my produce and meat deliverer is the blood that I drained from the ham in like a nice little wine.
It's the good shit.
As you taste it, you kind of can call out the notes in your own head, and you just think, "Yep, that's definitely prairie raised, grass fed, maybe some
My
oats."
hamster is getting antsy.
God.
If we be adventurers,
So
let us adventure.
One step away from being a wild hog. Very nice.
Smooth, bold.
Very gamey though.
Good year.
That's how old the pig was. That was a nice, solid year-old pig.
Good year, maybe year and a half. And thanks to all the other meat, I'll have a light rabbit stew for lunch, and for dinner will be a whole roast pheasant, like roast turkey style, or I guess 2 of them. And pheasants are probably not that big.
Of course,
History pheasant.
pheasant's about the size of like a chicken, kind of a small chicken.
Well, then we'll do both.
All right. So, after breakfast, you guys are figuring out exactly how to get to Valinor. I'm curious. What
before
is
that,
the plan?
Anun was going to suggest that while we're out of town, we should have a church come in and freaking bless this house. The ghost while we're gone.
I kind of like Billy being here.
Adds us
Kind of problematic.
personality. I almost said spirit. I'm trying to sprinkle it. So
He's thinking with his dad. He's used his dad joke for the day.
I did. It was right.
By the way, Dova, we do have that influence.
Which one?
It's a little late now, but maybe next time.
I mean, it can still happen.
Okay. As far as how to get there, I'd say we take the train up and around the Mournlands as far as we can go.
Do you think there's a teleportation circle there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, if you know any town that you're, or any capital cities that are even close to the area, we can go into a town and try finding books and see if a mage's guild or something has a teleportation circle for them.
How big is this town we're going?
It's just a region. We'd have to track him down from there.
Okay. Well, do they have like a big city or a main capital city in that region?
As far as there are a handful of cities in the region that would be big enough to have a teleportation circle available. Pretty much any of the cities on the map with the big star in it. So, New Throne and Tervalestas will both have teleportation circles. However, the actual circle itself, the design and access to it would you guys really wouldn't know.
That's why I was saying to go towards a mage's guild or school or get more information on it.
Precisely. Again, that's up to you.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good idea.
Look into that. We might. I don't know how big Hatheril is. Maybe if we had to take a train back to Starlasker, a bigger city. So we'll have to go into town and see what they have.
I mean, you've also got the teleportation circle in the woods.
No, I know, but I need the... I can't get to Valinor until I know what their teleportation circle is. But yeah, but it also takes... It would take 4 days for me to have enough spell slots to teleport everyone there. Unless we just wanted to have 2 people go, and that would fry... what do you say? It took 25 per person? 25 spell points?
20.
Wait,
20? Okay, so
do
that would leave me
your
with...
spell points carry over from one day to the next?
No.
No, but I have a total of 57 per day.
Oh, so you'd
Well, I mean-
you'd send 2 people at each day. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, also we can just combine our spell slots. You're not the only caster.
Yeah. How many, Oh, are you a full caster now?
No, I'm a half caster still.
Okay.
I'm a full caster.
I believe that the UA ranger I'm using is considered a full caster, even though they don't get access to the higher spell slots.
If they don't get access to the higher spell slots, then that means that they're a half caster. What's the highest that you can get up to, Sinal? 5th, right?
3rd right now.
No,
Just in-
highest total in general.
Your class.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was 5th. Yeah.
And you're a
All right.
half caster.
I would. Yeah.
A quarter caster is only like an Eldritch Knight or Trickster who only goes into level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3rds, not quarter.
Yeah, well, quarter caster sounds better.
It has a ring to it. I think both of them have a good ring to them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Third caster.
I don't know. I don't like third caster.
Back on topic. Back on topic. Back on topic.
Primary, secondary, and tertiary. Those are better.
No, we gotta go start going into Latin. Primaris caster. Secundus.
Dova.
Yeah?
I would like to speak to the ghost.
You want to go speak to the ghost?
Yeah.
How so?
I just want to go down in the basement because, he and I haven't really talked very much, and it feels weird to live in the house in the same house as an entity that you haven't really.
All right.
Essentially, Yark's just gonna introduce himself, and he's gonna say,
the dusty approach.
I am. It's kind of weird. I know we're kind of encroaching on your space, and I am an artificer. I do make magic items which interact with spirits a little differently than they interact with everything else. Is there anything you might want?
Do you go down alone?
Yeah. No reason not to. I trust him. I'm not suspicious or anything because he's like, I've met ghosts before, even if it's only when we fought them. And he hasn't killed us already. He probably would have if he wanted.
You feel a kind of brief force pushing against your kind of head. You've probably definitely experienced any sort of mind-changing magics before, and this is definitely it. If you can, or if you want to, you can fail the saving throw. Otherwise, it would be a wisdom saving throw.
I'll probably just fail it. I mean, like I said, if he wanted to kill us, he would have done so already, or at least tried.
All right. The darkness around you kind of fades and fades until you're left staring into utter blackness, which, as someone who is kind of raised for the tunnels, is weird. You'd expect to see some sort of kind of gray outlines of the walls around you, but nothing. Until all of a sudden you're standing upstairs, but it's a little bit different. Instead of having kind of oil lamps on the walls that are frankly a bit annoying to kind of refill and light, and then you've got to source the oil, and that's just kind of annoying. You see in every room there's some sort of just magical lighting, either a ever-bright lantern or just a kind of a floating ball of light in the form of a what's the word for them? Those like glass orbs that kind of follow you around and stay lit up.
Oh, the drift globe.
Drift globe. And you see just sort of a nice bright sort of villa. And just before the vision fades, you think you might have seen someone kind of pass through one of the halls. Give me a perception check.
I was hoping for a higher number.
I suppose you would know kind of what it is, but you would see just the tail end of the what you think to be a maid's dress but you don't see the figure itself. As the vision fades, you're back in the basement.
So it was like a vision of this house, right?
Yeah, it was definitely this house.
And the only things different were the lights and the presumingly bleh, the maid, I presume.
Yeah, that would be the only thing different.
The only two things different.
Only two things different, yeah.
Does that mean he wants the special lights or the maid?
Obviously.
All right. Well, I mean, I can't really make a maid, but I can make those those. So I'm gonna go back up the stairs and start tinkering. Which honestly, this kind of thing shouldn't be difficult because I already have an ability that lets me, imbue very tiny objects with magic abilities such as light.
Mhm.
I'm sure it shouldn't take too long for me to be able to make permanent ones.
I mean, they are common objects as well, or common items.
Yeah,
so
but I doubt they'll take like several days.
Yeah, if you're gonna mount them in one place instead of having it be like a traveling thing, you can imbue the house as well. And if that's the case, and you're also kind of mass producing them, it would be quite a bit easier. It would still be the same cost as if produced normally, so half the cost for you.
Half the cost, a quarter of the time.
I'd say it would take you about 2 hours for each one.
Alright, cool. I can just spend the day doing that and make, what, 6?
Yeah, about 6.
Maybe 7?
That all depends if you actually stay here.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going out to the other place right now, are we?
Could be.
Even during traveling, I might be able to ride on Zerth and still work on them.
That would go at the normal speed, though, because right now you're kind of building them in with the house in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get started working on those, and then I'll keep an ear out for what the party wants to do.
All right. And the rest of you?
What the party wants to do.
Sinel is already packed and ready to go.
Yeah.
Pushing everybody to come along with.
Zerth, would probably, meet with Billy and just be like, we'll be gone for a little bit and just murder anybody who comes in the house that isn't us.
So, Zerth.
The poor milkman.
As you head down to the basement to talk to Billy, as it were, you also feel a kind of actually no, I don't think you would. But you see, instead of just these shadows that kind of dance around the corners of your vision, you see a single figure. Just kind of a patch of darkness that's a little bit more dark than the rest of the area. And in a faintly feminine voice, just sort of plainly speaks to you. I saw what happened last night, by the way.
Have I heard this voice before?
No.
He'll be a little on edge, but hide it. And
Billy,
just goes,
you're not a Billy.
Which part? The arrow in my butt?
Well, both.
And
I might have listened in. And I suppose it proved my suspicions. I will make another apology. I might have done some investigating of my own while you were asleep the first night. And I've been down here quite a while, so you don't have to worry about her listening in to us speak right now. I can hold it up for a little while longer.
it's safe to assume that she's talking about his goddess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll turn to look like he'll just more focus on her and goes, and I think it's probably clear that is this one of the ghosts?
Yeah. This is definitely one of the ghosts, if not the ghost. You see, my impressions of her in your memories remind me of someone who I would rather have never met in the first place. If they are the same person, then I'm afraid you've in quite a bit of a ruse. But if they're not, then so be it.
He'll take a drag on his cigar. Goes, and I've only had pleasant memories, as you can tell. But I would like to know more. Seems you have a different inside to the one that saved me.
Personal experience. You see, the person who I had experience with supposedly died shortly after I did. And if they are the same person, then... well, I suppose, if they aren't the same person, then you will find their remains there. If not, then I suppose your mind can fill in the gaps.
So let's say the one that saved me is not who we say, but the one that you say. Safe to assume that they were mortal at once and not so far long ago.
Well, a long time. This house is built on quite a few foundations. My demise being one of them. And her, chiefly, the mortal one at least, was the cause. If they're two different people, then so be it. Maybe I can pass on. But something's keeping me here, and I have a creeping suspicion that her continued existence is anchoring me here. Or it might not be. You can see the silhouette kind of flicker for a moment. You'll find an address and a tombstone inside one of the front entrance dressers, taped up against the bottom edge.
And that will... Go ahead.
And with that, disappears.
Before she goes away, he would say, and that would assumingly lead me to the body of the one that I've been worshipping then. Is what he would say is what she was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then say, like, before she vanishes, like, I do hope we can get along. I do not want to ruffle anything. We plan to stay here for some time. I would like to make this as a home, as you probably know more about me than the others do.
You don't get any response.
He's getting used to that.
Wow, the ghost is a really good listener. Would you do anything else before heading back up?
He would probably just say, we live here together. It's your home as much as it is ours. And you are family as far as I am concerned. Do take care of the house while we were gone. As he comes back up.
All right. As you're heading up the stairs, you feel a tiny tug on your tail. Alliteration, by the way. Thank you. As you hear a much less kind of hoarse and kind of terrifying voice, kind of say right behind you. It's Sophia, by the way. Don't call me Billy.
He will smile and chuckle to himself.
Pressure releases.
Pressure releases. Like, take care, Sophia.
All right. Yark.
Yes.
You're kind of cleaning up from breakfast as Zerth comes back up, and you're kind of packing some rations into your bag of holding as well. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
I did it.
All right. Who else is in the kitchen?
Me? Because the basement led up to the kitchen, didn't it?
Yep, it leads around that same area.
Probably just us two.
Give me a dexterity saving throw, Zerth.
Oh. I'm built for meat, not for speed.
So, you're kind of pulling stuff out, and you accidentally jostle. Sorry, this is Yark. You accidentally jostle the drawer and release it. The screwdriver being flung out at Mach speed towards you. You kind of saw it slipping, so you ducked out of the way just in time. As it just goes sailing over your head and embeds itself into something. It sounds like wood behind you. But the clattering just starts right back up again. Zerth, you're kind of looking over in the other direction. You feel kind of a tiny bump on the back of your head as something gets flung at you.
He's looking at the ceiling thinking another trap fell.
No, it doesn't look like that. Yeah, I think you just got... Well, the fridge is making an odd racket, so you think it's probably just like a piece of debris that bonked you, but kind of just got flung away.
He'll cast mending on the fridge. See if that works.
You gonna help Yark fix it again?
Yeah.
All right.
Fix it for good this time, hopefully.
All right. Down a screwdriver, you manage to fix it properly, wrangling it into place, and you figure out it was actually a little misspelling in one of the runes that flipped the polarity of the magnets. But you finish up, close the drawer, and kind of look over. And Yark, I don't know how good you are at hiding your shock, but you see right, kind of in the crown of Zerth's head, right in the back, you see your screwdriver embedded a few inches.
There's a picture.
Oh my god, there is. Wait, a picture?
Where?
No, I that reminded me there was a picture I saw. That's perfect.
Oh. Should I wait? Should I hold my response until you send?
There we go.
Is it media share?
Yeah, I'll put it in media share. As soon as I can find media sharing. There we go. There we go.
I completely forgot about that picture.
As soon as you said screwdriver sticking on the back of it, that came to mind.
Yark.
I say, "Oh, there it is," and because I can jump really high, I jump up and grab it, but it doesn't come out. I just kind of hang there because I'm super weak.
You feel, Zerth, you feel a very strange sensation in the back of your head.
I rub it.
You feel a screwdriver embedded just enough to kind of get lodged in the very thick skull that you have.
And
strangely enough, you didn't feel any pain until now.
And also a kobold.
Mm-hmm. It's currently hanging off of it and kind of pulling your head back a little bit.
He's just gonna pluck it out.
He's gonna say,
All right.
"Could you let go?" As he's pulling and as he's feeling around, Yark just says, "Could you let go of my screwdriver, please?"
You concern me, little one. You concern me greatly. Why is there a screwdriver in the back of my skull?
Probably got launched from the.
Sinnoh! Thinking it's another trap.
So you hear the voice from inside the house calling out to you as you're standing like out by the gate.
I'm gonna put the screwdriver back with the rest of my tools.
All right.
Sinnoh's gonna start heading to the train station.
He's getting a head start.
Oh, hey Dova, quick question.
Yeah.
In the couple hours we had, I had time to make at least one of the little light things.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I envision is like a glass sphere the size of a marble, and as we all start filing out of the house, I turn toward the door that leads to the basement, and I say, I don't know if this is exactly what you wanted, but here, and I'm gonna like flick it with my thumb at the wall, and it's gonna stop a few inches, like a few centimeters from the wall, and just hover there and start glowing, like a light spell,
like a tiny little drift globe.
Basically like a light bulb.
All right. You see it kind of just sticks there for a second, drifting with a very faint kind of air current, but it seems kind of anchored to the same general area.
Yeah, it should just stay in that spot, basically. Like, have you seen not the candlelight spell, but the mage light spell in Skyrim?
Yeah.
The one you throw at the wall. It's basically.
All right. There's no response, but as you're kind of heading out, you kind of take a peek through one of the windows leading into that area, and you can see the light kind of being pulled along very gently. Just kind of experimentally kind of just moved just to see where it can go.
It can be moved freely as long as it stays like a couple centimeters from the wall.
Yeah.
But other than that, it can move anywhere along the walls.
All right.
And the ceiling, for instance, as a matter.
All right. So, as all of you with your bags packed, not for perhaps a long and perilous journey, but a journey nonetheless, head into town in a fairly light snow flurry. The temperature still kind of brisk, but just high enough that some of the snow, especially on the road itself, starts to melt and create kind of a nice and fun cold slush. I think that's a decent place to end it. As you are heading off in search of information. A teleportation circle in Valinar, in Kubara, and perhaps more information on exactly where the bounty head lies. Not the bounty head, the bounty maker. Bounter.
Commissioner.
There you go, bounty commissioner.
He's the bounter, and Sinnoh's the bounty.
What was the name you gave him? Was it the monarch?
The tyrant.
The tyrant.
The monarch.
That's what I thought of when I said that.
No, he's just a minor lord in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I should do that. I love the Superhuman Gambit. That's a great quest. Sorry, the Monarch is making me think of it from Fallout 3 with the Mechanist and the Agonizer.
That's a fantastic quest line. Oh my gosh.
Crazy people just fighting in the streets, and everyone's like, please help us. We can't do anything. These people are just here.
All right, everyone. Yes. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for Echoes of Eberron Dungeons and Dragons. I will be back in just a few minutes with some Dwarf Fortress, so do stick around in the chat here. We'll be right back. And I will actually be back with Dwarf Fortress this time. I know I said I would last night, but things went
talk
wrong.
About pizza? I
Yes,
go for a pizza.
Dwarves wired. Dwarfs. Anyways, so yeah, stick around. Thank you for joining for Echoes of Eberron. Dova, thank you for running. Everyone,
Yeah, no problem. Join us next week for a level 1 arching.
A what?
I need to watch
We'll
that.
be a level 1, like a guy with a bubble gun.
Well, anyways, everyone, thanks for joining, and I bid you all a very fond adieu.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have fun.
I'm glad at least one person found that funny.
I have an
There we
unlimited.
go. Now I can end.